Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As here tonight, we're back with the RSR Cup Series at the Pocono Raceway for 99 laps of the Tricky Triangle. We want to give a special shout out to all the sponsors here at the RSR Cup Series and the Evolution Racing Leagues. First, we have Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have is Sheffield Graphics. Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation's Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com and you can feel what you've been missing. And you can also use our promo code from Freaky Fast here, Freaky Fast 20, to get 20% off. And remember, that's Freaky Fast with 2 E's, Freaky Fast 20 at ButtKicker.com. Any purchase, 20% off, and you can feel what you've been missing. So make sure you go check them out, as they are a proud partner here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So thank you to all the sponsors here tonight. What a wonderful night of racing we have in store for us here at the RSR Cup Series. As like I said, we're here at Pocono for the I Got 99 Problems and Pocono 8-1. This is round number 17 of the season, and man, what a season it's been. But I'm Zach Hall up in the booth, Brandon Colley joining alongside me to call the action, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. in the press box running the cameras. Man, Brandon, what a season we've had so far. And I tell you what, coming into the race tonight here at Pocono, we got a tie for the points after 15 races. That is just wild to see.
Yeah, it really is. I was just noticing that myself here as we were going live, that Curtis Preston missed a race, fell from the top of our standings here, allowed GT to take over the top position there. But Curtis, after a strong run last week at Kentucky, now at even with his teammate at GT, currently 40 points ahead of third place Trevor Massetti there, and then just behind them is going to be another Slide Jobs Racing teammate of Travis Everett, 48 points behind. So top guys are starting to close in just a little bit now. See if they can improve upon that tonight. I've seen Trevor Massetti looking pretty quick in practice. Hopefully that translates to good race pace.
Yeah, could he break through for that first victory? I mean, we've been seeing it happen a lot. I mean, last week, Jeff Carson breaks through at Kentucky, one of the ARCA Series drivers coming up, filling in for a Cup Series driver, and he comes out here, puts that thing in victory lane. It was fantastic to watch. First of all, what a battle down to the end. And then the week before that, we had Watkins Glen, where we had Ryan Bean just be so strong and be able to get that third win, get the most wins of the season. And then before that, we were at Charlotte, where Kevin Zabaldil broke through and got his victory. So, I mean, man, it's been all up in the air. We've had new winners. We've had the guy who's won the most now also in the past 2 weeks. It's kind of all over the place. I could think we could see a new winner here tonight, and I tell you, that could possibly be the man sitting on top of the board right now qualifying. As remember, he is top of the points, tied for that, but has not got a win to his name. Does have an all-star win, but no points paying win. He wants to get that monkey off his back.
Yeah, and I think GT, now setting down quick pace here in qualifying, which he's kind of been struggling with as of late. So hopefully this bodes really well for that 14. But he's in the same position that the 88 of Trevor Massetti's in. No points paying win, but GT with the All-Star victory and Massetti with one of the dual victories all the way back in Daytona to start the season here. Been looking for a long time now to get that points paying victory. And right now, both of them are sitting in the top 3 right now. And as I say that, Travis Everett jumping to the top of the board just a skosh quicker than GT now to take over the top spot.
Oh, man, and I was just about to applaud GT for how much time. I mean, almost a tenth over the rest of the field. Then his teammate, Travis Everett, says, Well, I'll come in here and one up you, buddy, and go about a half a second or a half a tenth quicker. Sorry about that. And man, 59, putting himself up top. He hasn't been able to get in victory lane in a few races. So, man, the slide job racing guys, they always show a lot of speed, but can they get the finishes where they show the speed is going to be the question tonight. It's been a rough few weeks for some of them, but I tell you what, they've always got the speed, so they can break through.
And Zach, this is starting to look more and more familiar. The top three, two of them being Slide Jobs Racing teammates, and then Hunter Hayward in the mix. He has been battling these guys pretty much the whole season, and they've all three had incredible speed and just been kind of swapping off who's going to be the fastest each and every week.
Yeah, it's kind of been that type of battle. It's been kind of I guess you could say a tug of war, just tugging back to each side. And yeah, I mean, Hunter Hayward has came in and been really strong. I mean, he's been somewhat of a thorn, I'd say, in the side of some of these drivers. I would say just to have him come in and really affect the lineup there. I mean, you build kind of like a pecking order when you race, and you kind of understand that as you race. And some races, some guys are going to do better than they did before, but man, he's coming here to really hit it out the park. But I tell you, who's hit it out the park the most is Travis Everett with that Sheffield Graphics pole. As we'll bring up our starting grid here tonight. Travis Everett there starting from that first position, bringing home that Sheffield Graphics pole award. Second is going to go to teammate GT Irizarry. Third is going to be Hunter Hayward. Fourth is going to be Trevor Massetti. Fifth is going to be Nolan Potter in the 34. Sixth is going to be Matthew Rush. Seventh, Dustin Stallings, last year's series champion. Curtis Preston starts eighth. Ninth will be Bob Fitzpatrick, and rounding out the top 10 will be Andrew Little.
James Catrone in the 38, starting 11th. Kevin Zabladil, 12th. Adam Buzzio, 13th. Stephen Baldwin Jr., 14th. Kevin Ruff, 15th position. J.R. Miller, 16th position. Kevin Dowden, 17th. Nathan Campbell, 18th. Harold Watkins, 19th. And Casey Kuntz in the 31 in the 20th position.
21st will be last week's winner, Jeff Carson at Kentucky. 22nd is going to be Craig A. Burns. 23rd will be Kevin Sabilla. 24st is going to go to Mark Andre Thibodeau. 25th is Tony Ludi. 26th is going to go to David Hall. 27th, Ryan Ezel. 28th is going to go to Anthony Yunez. 29th, Chad Biesinger. 30th is going to go to Michael Martino. 31st, Rusty Modesty. And rounding out your field is your league leader in wins, Ryan Beaton, in the 32nd position. As that is your starting grid here tonight for the Pocono Raceway for the RSR Cup Series. But let's go ahead and bring Mr. Travis Everett from Slide Job Racing on down here to the booth and hear what this man has to say after putting down one heck of a lap here at Pocono.
Travis Everett, bring that up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Well, Travis, congrats on getting that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Pocono. Just edging out your teammate there, GT, for the top spot. Thought he had it locked down, then you come in with a burner lap, man. How's the car feeling out there tonight?
Feels a little bit looser than what it did in practice the other night. Ran a practice race here last night and was able to put down a .210. I'm not sure where the grip went, but either way, we'll take it. That's for sure.
Well, it's looking good. Slide Jobs Racing starting on the front row here. Missed a race earlier in the season. Fell back in the points just a little bit now. I believe sitting fourth in points, 48 points back. You think you got a good shot to regain some of those points here tonight?
I think we got a good shot if we can keep the car clean. 99 laps around here is a long time. A lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Going to try to end up right where we're starting it, but we got a lot of good competition back there behind us also, so it's going to be a tall order for sure.
Well, 99 laps indeed, a very long time around here. Keep the fenders clean, man, and hopefully we'll talk to you for some of these stages and maybe even at the end of this thing.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Hope you all enjoy it.
All right, that was Travis Everett, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner, as they pace down the back stretch here at the Pocono Raceway. Man, what a lap from him. That I tell you, I almost in my mind with the gap that Irizarry had back to Hayward in the third position, I thought that lap was going to be the one, Brandon. And I tell you what, Travis there comes in the last few moments, swipes it away from his teammate, but Slide Job Racing always looking strong here to start off up front and locking out that front row.
And I think, really more so than a lot of other tracks we'll go to, qualifying here at Pocono so important with the aero package these cars have. the downforce, the dirty air, track position matters so much here. You cannot afford to have a bad qualifying start for qualifying here, because it's so difficult, especially when the tires get worn in, to make those passes.
Passes are tough, and I tell you what's even tougher here is the green flag out as we go racing here at the RSR Cup Series. Look at Hayward pushing the 59 down the front straightaway. Already a little bump in here, and this is where it fans out with these Cup cars, especially on this front straightaway. You're going to see some moves being made as it looks like Everett will drive down into one with the lead.
Oh, a little loose.
A little loose. Oh,
Nolan
a lot
Potter
of loose
behind
for
him.
Nolan Potter. There's a lot of guys sliding around, and it's catching guys off guard here early with the cold tires.
Well, everybody navigating it pretty well here. 3 wide. Everybody slicing and dicing with these slower cars. Getting around it pretty good here.
Wow, and that was such a fast moment of just overall loss of grip in Everett. He is definitely going backwards there. Already teammate Curtis Preston, who started in that 8th position, passed our pole setter on lap 1 as Irizarry, his teammate, was able to take hold of that lead. I tell you what, good job on Hunter Hayward also, and the drivers behind Nolan Potter also, that really were able to check up and not get into the back of the other drivers and let them save it. You know, that's what's kept us green here.
Yeah, and it looked like it happened again out of turn 4, about the 12th, 11th position there. James Catrone starting to fall back here, losing a lot of momentum. But I think the biggest thing out of that moment here into turn 1 on the first lap, even though those cars got loose, everybody stacked up. I just went back, looked at the field. There is not a single car in the field with any damage right now from that incident. So great heads up for these guys to avoid that.
Kudos to the to these guys here, man. It's just that's amazing. You got cars completely sideways through there.
Oh, we got a car around in turn 2.
Oh no! In the tunnel turn is the first spot of calamity to 21. Oh no! David Hall going spin around like a top. Who else is that there up in that high lane? Looks like a few cars involved. We'll have to go back here and check out exactly what happened here to bring out tonight's first Or Nissan Central caution.
Well, it looked like going down into the tunnel turn, the 21 of David Hall just a little bit low, didn't quite make the entry to the corner. Anthony Eunice above him sweeping down, and just a little bit of contact there from the 21 to the 54. And then another car comes in here and just gets really hard into the back bumper of David Hall.
Ooh, yeah, that was the 98 there. Heavy contact to the rear bumper of David Hall, and that's man, heavy contact here early. That's not something you want to see. And a lot of guys already with some smoke. Rusty Modesty, one of those drivers on pit lane with engine damage, and it's gonna be an early night end for a few guys. And that tunnel turn could sneak up on you so fast. And you can see here a lot of damage here for a few guys running in that pack.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I think here. You know, talk about how important qualifying is. You can qualify on the pole every single time you race here, but if you can't keep the fenders clean, you're most likely not going to come out of it with a good finishing position. The straight line speed here is key, and any kind of damage that's going to hinder that, it's going to cost you positions all race long.
Yeah, damage is never something you want here at this racetrack. Definitely going to have some drag on there. But as that all transpired, Hunter Hayward was able to take the lead in the 48. So 48 has now got out front with GT Azar in that second position. Trevor Massetti third. So great job at it. And tell you what, big jump up for Curtis Preston up to 5th. And also Stephen Baldwin 14th to 8th. So had some drivers really fall back and had a few drivers really go forward. I mean, Nolan Potter 5th to 16th in, the matter of 2 laps. So stuff happens quick here on cold tires at Pocono, and man, just a lot of good driving from heads up driving from these drivers out there, not to bring out that yellow when any of that happened before.
Yeah, and I think the biggest gain there was when all that was taking place in turn 1. All the guys on the outside lane, they didn't have to check up too much for the guys getting loose, and were able to gain those handful of positions. You know, Stephen Baldwin up 6th now. Curtis Preston really taking advantage of it, up to 5th now, up 3 positions. And Ryan Bean, I don't know how he managed to gain so many positions, but up 11 right now, our biggest mover. The only car in to not take qualifying time, so started dead last here, and already up about halfway through the field.
That's one heck of a drive there. That's kind of amazing how fast he drove up through there. I mean, like you said, that's nearing the half mark of the field.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned when I saw that Ryan had not taken a qualifying time. Don't know if he got up into the session a bit late there towards the end of qualifying, could not get a lap down, or maybe he just elected not to try to stay out of some trouble early in the going here. But able to gain a lot of positions, but now he's right there in the mid pack. That's probably the most dangerous area to be in. Have to see if he can survive some calamity that may ensue around him here. And we know he's got speed pretty much everywhere we go. So I imagine we're going to see the 25 of Ryan Bean up in the top 10 before too much longer.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely our leader in the wins column, so he's definitely been one to be. And the biggest thing I can give credit to Ryan Bean is just winning on different racetracks. If he can come out and win, I think on a mile and a half, I think that's almost solidifies him as, man, that guy is maybe the guy to beat, possibly. Kind of hitting in the shadows almost. The 25 could be the one to beat, like I said, because it seems like his variety of his speed is very good over all the racetracks.
Yeah, and it's kind of the tale of two seasons here between Ryan Bean and GT, where GT doesn't have any wins yet, has not managed to gain that one in the win column, but he's leading the points. Whereas Ryan Bean, our win leader here, but not quite having the most consistency. It's been really up and down, hit or miss for the 25 at different racetracks. If he can clean up the consistency, not only are more wins going to come into that total win column for the 25, but those points are going to come flooding in.
Points is what he's gonna want for sure as the regular season starts to tick down here, and see if he can gain a few spots up that board. But man, what a race we got here tonight! And also, just looking at the points, Brandon, a lot of guys going up and down. I mean, kind of some guys trying to get into that playoff position too late into the season.
Yeah, looking at it right offhand, seeing Brock Potter up to 23rd now for Stealth Motorsports, gaining 4 spots after Kentucky. But the flip side of that, you've got James Catrone in the 38 for Jetsman Racing. Lost 3, moved down to 15th position there in points. Still trying to hang on to be able to slip into the cutoff for the playoffs here. And you don't have much time left. You got to get every point you can now.
Every point is going to count when it comes down to the end of the season. Don't miss out here, as we'll bring that live here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But here tonight, we have the Pocono Raceway as the main event of this evening, as Hunter Hayward will look to lead us back to green after our first Nissan Central caution. He is off and away. Good start for the 48 as he pulls a gap over the 14-year Zari as he has cleared the 88. Now the battle ensues from the 3rd position on back.
The field really got spread out on that restart. Big clump there in the top 5, but behind about 7th position, pretty strung out. And guys, seeming like the tires not being up to temp. They're hitting that bump we talked about in the ARCA Series race down in turn 1. I saw a lot of guys just lose the nose going into the corner.
Oh, it's definitely a big factor. I think when Hayward made the pass on Irizarry the first time, that is what I noticed, is a huge bump there. And as you see, Everett now fighting with the 11 of Matthew Rush. He's trying to break back into the top 5. Ooh, we got a car slapping the inside wall there. Don't know exactly what car that was, but it was a heavy lick. I believe that may have been the 52 of Nathan Campbell from the 11th spot, and he's going to drop back almost to the 21st position.
Well, it looked like he got underneath Andrew Little there. Andrew getting a little bit on the loose side. Oh, Andrew trying to give Andrew space, and looked like Andrew was going to come back down the track. Nathan tried to react to that, a little bit too much wheel, and got himself loose there, and indeed smacked the inside. Heavy left front damage on the 52.
Riding on board here with Ryan Ezel in this number 5 machine. He's right now in the 25th position, up 2 spots from his starting position of 27th. There you can see the battle in front of him. Tony Ludi, Chad, and actually that's Nathan Campbell directly ahead of him. And Tony Ludi going to the inside down here into the tunnel turn to see what Ryan Ezel can do as he enters here directly behind. This is a tough spot to be in here for Ezel. Dirty air all around.
Yeah, especially in the tunnel turn, you really need that the turn on the front of the car there to carry a lot of speed through the tunnel turn. It tightens up a ton coming out of the corner, and you'll find a lot of guys are going to be getting into the wall on the exit of turn 2 as this run goes on, and the tires get more and more worn.
Yeah, you can see there, Ezel trying to work under the inside of this 52. It looks like he will possibly be able to complete the pass down here, down into 1, and that's going to slide him up to that 21st or 24th position as Campbell's going to fight back here on the outside. And man, what a run there for the 52.
And the biggest issue here, Zach, is another point to why qualifying is so important. If you look 2 cars ahead of Ryan Ezell, the pack has pulled away, and this is the risk you take when you end up in the back of the pack. If you get guys get checked up racing each other, the front of the pack's going to pull away, and you rely on that draft to pull you forward once you make those passes. Once you get to the front of that pack, you're going to have clean air, but you're going to have to use a lot more of the tires to get back up to the pack than you would if you still had that toe in front of you.
Ryan Bean trying to make up ground here early in the going as he started from the dead last position, already up to the 19th position, directly behind Craig Burns and Kevin Ruff. Trying to go forward is that number 25, but I tell you what, up front, Irizaria had a big slide that dropped him back to 4th. As Preston now up to 3rd, Massetti up to 2nd, and Everett up to 5th. You got 3 slide job racing cars right in the back into that top 5, and it could get interesting up front, even with Massetti and Hayward.
Yeah, I think they're going to be, well, I was going to say they're going to be a little bit patient here, but then Curtis Preston going to the inside now. Trevor Massetti into 3. Massetti swinging really wide there. GT now going to follow behind his teammate, try to make that pass. But the run on the high side, oh, Massetti almost gets in the fence there. Great job not getting a piece of the wall on exit from Massetti.
And now look at this, here comes Everett. He's looking to swarm the 88, try to take that 3rd or that 4th position from the 88 and push Trevor Massetti back to 5th. And there you'll see Massetti up the racetrack a little bit. And now Travis Everett up into the 4th position. I tell you, Everett coming up back up pretty quickly. That pole speed's definitely showing.
Yeah, it really is. Going to be interested to see how well he's handling once we get to the later stage of this run. Looks like these slide job racing guys being pretty aggressive here on the short run. Looking at the closing speed into turn 2 alone, even now into 3. Hunter Hayward seems to be backing up quite a bit. Curtis Preston wants that clean air, trying to get to the lead. And you see him lose the nose, trying to carry a lot of speed through 3 and 4.
And that's where it's going to be so tough, Brandon. You can see, look at the 14. Big shot to the back of the 29. He's trying to help his teammate with the big double draft here. And that's going to be the factor, is Hayward's not going to have help here. Preston is going to be all over the back of him with the help of his teammates. And, oh, tell Curtis Preston sliding up the racetrack a little bit in that 29. That's going to let teammate GT Irizarry get to the inside. Hayward pulls down, possibly opening up that draft, actually cutting the draft off as Irizarry going to push his teammate as Hayward slides back up the racetrack in front of him.
That's Hayward realizing the position that he's in. He was keeping the air on the nose of Curtis Preston through turn 1 there. Once they got down the long straightaway, said, you know what, you guys are going to bump draft. I'm not going to give you my draft to help you out whatsoever. And once he pulled down, Curtis Preston not able to gain any ground on him. Now it looks like Curtis might be struggling a little bit, a little loose out of turn 3.
Well, that's why you see Curtis Preston pushing so hard. I mean, he's trying to get that clean air. That's really what I think he was focused on, as trying to drive to the back of that 48. But let's say the 48 able to gap him that lap. Can Hayward continue to do that? That's the question. That's going to be a question. Can you separate yourself from each other here, or is it almost impossible?
I think to a point, to the mid-run, Zach, I don't think you're really going to be able to pull too much away from anybody. The draft is just going to be so strong. But if you get into the later stages where you've been able to save your tires just a little bit, you can get a little bit harder of an entry, a little bit better of an exit, rotate the center just a little bit better, and gradually increase your time every corner. It's going to offset what they're able to gain back with the draft and just slowly be able to pull away.
Looking at Dustin Stallings here in the 10th position as 93. I think he could be one to watch for. This track is somewhat of a long run track. It kind of can come to you. And he's the type of driver where if it's a long run, it usually comes to that 93. So let's see if this first stage he can get this thing rolling.
Well, looking at the time difference now for Dustin Stallings, about a 10th off of what GT and Curtis are running in second, but about 2/10 off from the faster guys on the track right now. Looks like Hunter Hayward, Travis Everett, and Trevor Massetti running in that 53.4 second lap time bracket. So a little bit of work to do, but he could just be taking it super easy here. That 10th or 2/10 you're giving up now could swing in your favor later on.
And remember, stage 1 will come at lap 25. Here's you see the battle with last week's winner of the 81 of Jeff Carson. See battles James Quattroni. And tell you what, he's driving up through the field, man. Jeff Carson, as much bad luck as this guy has had in the ARCA Series, he is showing he is one heck of a Cup Series driver.
And he really is. Had a lot of success so far, especially with the win last week. Brilliant strategy there for himself and his team to come up and really steal the win away, especially with how much damage he had here. And he's backing it up now. Pretty strong run at Pocono so far as he makes the pass on James Catrone now for the 13th position. Got a little bit of work to do up ahead of him as that smaller pack of 3 cars ahead is kind of pulled out of his drafting range. But if he can put together some speed here, that's definitely within range, and they're racing each other pretty hard.
Looks like Carson will get away, but here comes the 28 of Junior Miller. He's going to go up the inside. Also got Adam Buzzy on the 55, so these drivers knocking on the door there for a top 10.
And the guys ahead of them racing each other, it's allowed them to close in that gap. It's another 2 positions they're going to be able to gain here, added to the pack. And you see him just trying to sniff around in the draft, zigzagging just a little bit here, trying to figure out where they can gain a little bit of an advantage. And that's one of the hardest things with Pocono is everybody gets single filed out. You get a good run out of a corner to set up the straightaway, and then your run stalls out because the guy you're trying to pass has a draft in front of you. You really need somebody to kind of work with you to make a pass, maybe somebody ahead, a teammate, to pull out and give you a bit of a tow to set up a pass going into the next corner.
Looking at this battle here, tell you what, GT was able to get past his teammate up front, move himself in the 2nd position, and I believe Travis Everett has now moved into 3rd as Curtis Preston has dropped back to 4th. And Curtis Preston definitely seeming to fall away here in this 33 as the run continues on. And we'll have to watch and see if that's something to watch for the rest of the night, or something he can fix as it goes on. But right now, hanging on to that 4th position with Trevor Massetti behind. But I tell you what, Stephen Baldwin up to 6th, Bob Fitzpatrick there in the 3 up to 7th, and also Matthew Rush. These drivers all within 2.7 tenths here of the leader, and man, it's a really small gap.
Yeah, the front pack here about 8th position up to the lead, really still within range of each other. Back to Dustin Stallings, who has lost the draft to that lead pack. They're kind of all on his own at the moment. But these front guys just kind of taking it easy here. Matthew Rush probably the most so. And again, to your point, Curtis Preston looked like he's just fallen off, seeming to hold up Massetti just a little bit here as the 3 ahead of him are extending that gap. I think just seeing how much Curtis was pushing it in the early run there, really driving into the corners hard, it's hurt his right front tire. Just cannot get the entry that he needs to keep up the speed that his teammates have found, because they're slowly starting to pull away from him.
Yeah, and Irizarry each time just a couple hundreds able to get onto Hayward, so that's looking pretty similar there. Everett pretty quick also. But man, look at this battle of Fitzpatrick here. He's trying to do everything he can to get by Baldwin. This is a guy that needs to get run. Multiple wins last season, has not been able to strike that type of consistency yet. But man, the speed he's shown, I think he can do it.
Absolutely. Being a past winner, it's just for some reason this season has not seemed to go his way. Has just missing a little something that's going to get him up there to be fighting each and every week to get those top 5 finishes. And looking at it here, if I can find it, he has 5 top 10s this season, yet to crack into the top 5 out of his 14 starts on the season. So absolutely wanting that good run to finish out with the top 5. Still sitting 10th in points, so really good points position as well for the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. But a little ways to go. 212 points back from the lead here, but still sitting pretty good spot come playoff time.
I tell you what, the gap was opening up for a second because I believe the lap car had somewhat of effect there on the 14 of GT Irizarry compared to the 48 of Hunter Hayward. And these top 3, though, just looking lap time wise, pretty much all matching each other. Other than Matthew Rush, he's also right in the ballpark also.
Everybody in here except for last time by Trevor Massetti and Baldwin, a little bit on the slower side of things. But our front 4, especially Travis Everett, looking to be the quickest by about half a tenth over his teammate right now in 2nd place. But they're all running within a tenth of each other for the most part. So top 4 really finding their speed right now. It's just going to come down to the latest part of this run, which we don't have much left. Only a handful of laps left until the stage break here. Who can get the most out of the tires to maybe gain at least 1 position?
I tell you what, there. Ooh, look at the run set he has here on the back of Curtis Preston, down into 3. Takes a little bit of a look, can't get there as Preston slides up the racetrack. I think that should equate to a pretty good run. They may, it looks like, not just going to clear there as the 29 does. But man, Preston, last time by, his times are not that far off of these top 3 up here up front. And so he is recovered from that fall from 2nd back to 4th and has stabilized it here in front of Mercedes.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that helped him there is fell off a little bit, got some clean air as his teammate was able to gap him, got the tires cooled off a good bit, and he's able to match lap times and even be a little bit better on a couple laps here, able to close the gap back into 3rd place of Travis Everett.
Yeah, that time by actually a little bit quicker even than the leader too, so a great lap time for Curtis Preston that time. And Massetti definitely the fastest car on the racetrack that time before. It's definitely a good issue. Ooh, look, here goes Fitzpatrick down to the inside of Baldwin. That's going to slide him up to that 6th position. Here goes Matthew Rush up to 7th as he goes past Baldwin. So great run for a few drivers. Baldwin, though, still a great run in that 8th position.
Yep, still got a pretty decent gap all the way back to Andrew Little in the 10th position to still get those stage points here for the 18 of Stephen Baldwin. And the top 10, other than it looks like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, third, 4th, and 5th, pretty spread out amongst each other.
Yeah, it's getting really spread out. And I tell you what, Andrew Little last time by, his lap time very competitive in the 54.3. I mean, that's quicker than our leader, Hunter Hayward. So could he possibly go forward? Oh, there is the caution out on the racetrack. I'm unsure for what. Looks like Nolan Potter may have been involved with Kevin Ruff also. As we have a 2nd caution of the night here on lap 21. Brought to you by Orton Nissan Central. Man, did not expect this one to be coming out here to bring out this. I believe that'll bring them into the stage too, since it's at lap 25. But here, we'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay. Check out what exactly happened here. Is off the exit of turn number 1. You can see there the 34, Nolan Potter, a winner from Las Vegas. There's a 6 of Rusty Masi, a lap car. And I think Potter may have thought the 6 was going to be higher up the racetrack. Gets into the door of the 6. Kevin Ruff nowhere to go, and just hard hit for both drivers right into the inside wall.
Yeah, that's such a dangerous part of the track. You're not expecting guys to check up there. Everybody's going to be full throttle at that point, trying to carry all their exit speed down this straightaway here. And when somebody checks up like that, you're just not looking for it. And you saw the closing right there, right before the contact, just how much the speed difference was between Kevin Ruff and the 34, and just can't check up in that amount of time there.
2nd caution of this evening here at Pocono as Hunter Hayward leads this way. And we'll wait for confirmation, but have we heard anything about this stage here yet, Brandon?
I cannot say that I've heard anything over the radio yet as to if this is going to be the stage caution, but I believe if it's not, they're going to be going green lap 24, so it may just be a 1-lap shootout.
Could possibly be. I would think it may be that. I mean, we'll have to see here, but I think all drivers are going to be hitting pit road here. Yeah, you'll see all of them taking the left-hand turn down to pit road at 55 mile an hour here, pit road speed down to the box. And I tell you what, these boxes here at Pocono, very big boxes, but very easy to slide through.
It really is. It's a lot like Talladega and Daytona, where the brakes are just they're not quite as powerful. And a little bit of contact between Everett and his teammate getting into their boxes there. That was interesting.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens when you get oh yeah, that was just a little bit of contact there in the door between those two. And that's unfortunate for both those drivers. But what kind of strategy did we see here? Did we see a no tire stop for the Slide Job Racing crew? They have elected to do that, Brandon. They're pretty much going for the extra Savus tires, and we've seen that win now twice.
Well, the thing is that This is going to be a pretty big gamble. They're going to be quite a bit off the pace. If they're just trying to set up now if this is not the stage, they're going to go back green. They're just going to pit and take tires under the stage, have a slight tire advantage. Hunter Hayward undoubtedly is going to win this stage unless Trevor Massetti can get a really good positioning on him, also with fresh tires. But I think this is just a long-term second stage plan for the Slide Job Racing crew.
Well, we were about through that run, about a second and a half of fall off. So, man, oh man, it's going to be interesting to see what them restart in front. That's the only worry for them is, you know, they got to worry about people getting around them, and you know that's the job of the drivers around them to do. And I'm sure that most drivers will be able to figure out how to navigate around them, but it can get pretty wild here at Pocono, especially on these restarts.
Absolutely. The amount of speed that the guys on fresh tires are going to be able to carry down into turn 1 is going to blow the doors off of the guys on the older tires here, and that's going to be the dangerous spot. The guys directly behind them maybe not going to be in danger, but it's going to be an accordion effect of guys not realizing that there's people checking up that hard, you know, 3 or 4 rows ahead of them, where you're going to run into problems.
Problems always show up some reason here at Pocono, man. It's a tricky triangle. It can go green, and when you have a problem, stuff really compounds because of that green effect. You kind of don't have a chance to get back. Luckily, these guys have another stage, but we didn't get confirmation, did we, on the stage?
We did not, but I think because they're going to be going back green here at lap 20, starting lap 25, I don't think it's going to be a one-lap shootout, but no confirmation as to whether or not that was, in fact, the stage. We'll have to see when they cross the line to start lap 26 if they're going to throw the caution flag for the stage.
Man, oh man, this is getting intense here. What can the Slide Job Racing drivers do to possibly pull this off still? I think, you know, I don't think they're going to be able to hold off the new tires, but how far do they fall back? And, you know, do they give up the track position to pit next time by, or do they stay out at the stage break? I think they stay out.
It'd be a really gutsy call because for sure you're not getting any stage points for stage 2. You shouldn't be in danger of going a lap down. You know, we've got a 52-second lap time here, and then 53 towards the end, and even 54. And only a second and a half difference at the start. Shouldn't be in danger of falling a lap down. Saving the tires, though, might be the right plan for the long term for the very end of this race.
Let's see how it plays out long term for these drivers. Pace car is in. Green is out. Traverse Sever is off and away. And it looks like the old tires hanging tough here so far through the early part of the restart zone, but down to turn 1 and 2 is where you're going to see that new rubber really come into effect. And let's see what cold tires even possibly.
There's the closing rate right there. And the best thing that happened for Hunter Hayward here is that the teammates were not side by side through turn 1, able to get a great run on the high side now. Should not have much competition down into turn 2.
And he made the jig there to, you know, make Hayward think twice about it. But Hayward smartly waits, then makes the move. He's back to the lead here as he exits out of the tunnel turn here, as this is the final lap of stage number 1. Hunter Hayward looking to pull it off here down into turn 3. I tell you what, good job for the Slide Job Racing crew. They're able to hang on to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as I believe that should bring me into our stage here. We'll see if the caution waves. No caution yet on the racetrack. And I believe
that
may have the stage has been. Yeah, so
yeah,
I think Hayward had it. Yeah, so it must have been Hayward's stage to begin. So sorry about that, everybody. I hope we didn't get no confirmation here. I believe over the radios. Maybe we missed it or what. But yeah, Hunter Hayward is our stage winner. Maybe if we get another caution at some point, we'll talk to him about that stage.
And I've got to point out, Zach, the next car on fresh tires, Trevor Massetti, still hasn't gotten around Curtis Preston and GT Rosari. Hunter Hayward has checked out over Trevor Massetti.
And that's a beautiful sight to see for that 48. That's exactly what he wants to see play out here. Now, the Slide Job Racing guys, they're just trying to stop as much of the bleeding as possible. The longer they can stay ahead of these guys on the new tires, especially these fresh tires, the better it's going to be once the tires start to hit that plateau phase, and they should start to possibly go back forward towards the end of the run.
That's exactly right, and it's worked out beautifully so far for the Slide Job Racing team here. Curtis Preston a little bit loose there. Bob Fitzpatrick going to the outside now. But, I mean, the fact that they've not fallen outside the top 5 looking to now, it's gone pretty well, but they've still got a substantial amount of laps left for this second stage that they're going to have to hold on.
And it looks like Massetti there already by, but, man, he's just lost so much time, and you're seeing a lot of guys really try to cut through here. Look, Jeff Carson, Stephen Baldwin on the back of Curtis Preston. And Curtis Preston, the first of the guys on the old tires, you know he's got to feel definitely pretty interesting right here.
Yeah, it's getting swamped all over. I got to give my tip of the cap to these guys for the patience that they've shown with the fresh tires to get around the guys that are obviously slower than them. Nobody really making any crazy aggressive moves, not even really any close contact even. So, again, hats off.
Now, I wonder how, I don't have the information for this, but how many of these cars did take tires and how many cars didn't? I mean, it's possible a lot of people could be on the strategy break because this is the strategy that's been winning races.
Well, I'm going to try to tally it up here. Had some guys that obviously did not take tires. Right off the top of my head, it's looking like about 8, 9 cars possibly that are on this strategy of not taking the tires during the stage break. The leader of those obviously going to be Travis Everett, but all the way back to cars like Mike Martino, Andrew Little, Marc-Andre Thibodeau in 25th, 26th, and 28th position. Had a really short pit stop. Looked like fuel only out of those guys, and some more even mired in the mid pack as well. Maybe not taking tires here, hoping to save that set for the end. And if you have only a few guys that are on a fresh set at the end, those guys are going to be flying through the field.
Yeah, the closing rate is going to be unbelievable at that point. And we'll have to see here as, man, it's happened to do a little bit sideways there into the corner. Winner at Charlotte there in the 17 machine. Remember, he implemented that strategy. Same with save a set of tires and then drive through the field at the end of the race. And he's up to 23rd right now, starting at 12th position, so has dropped back a little bit. But we'll see if he can get himself back in position farther up the field. As Hayward now with a 2.2 second lead, as Massetti has now gotten a second, with Bob Fitzpatrick now sliding in the third past Everett. So right now our top 3 is 3.5 seconds separating them. Everett, I tell you what, hanging on so good with these these old tires. I mean, his lap time is very, very strong, and I mean, only a second slower than the leaders.
Yeah, we were seeing that second and a half of fall off here. It looks like Travis Everett through the cooldown phase able to get a lot of life out of him, but hasn't really pushed them too hard after they've gotten back up to 10th here, able to gain that about half-second advantage a lap over the guys on the older tires behind him as well, able to hold on to 4th pretty solidly right now. So this may have actually worked out to be a spectacular call to not take tires here. I expected them guys to fall through the field like a rock.
Well, we'll have to see around lap 50 what's going to happen to these drivers. How far will they drop? Ooh, man, Dustin Stallings making the big move there to the inside of Curtis Preston. And he's going to get on by. And, yeah, Preston now back to that 9th position. Irizarry still hanging on to 5th, and Everett still in 4th. As the Slide Job Racing crew hanging on very well. I mean, it's personally amazing to watch how good they're doing on these old tires.
Dustin Stallings into the fence as well.
Oh.
I think he may have been trying to avoid Curtis Preston. I think Preston might have got a little bit loose going through turn 2 here, going back and looking at it. No, I think it might have just been crossing over Curtis Preston's dirty air. The car just stopped turning, Zach. And Dustin Stallings hard into the wall out of the exit 2.
Yeah, that was a good old case of a no front turn there from that dirty air. Curtis Preston's just making the corner in front of him. And the 93 follows in that wake, and he just goes straight from there. It's a tough deal. And look at this, though, Ryan Ezell. He's challenging Craig Burns here. This is for a top 13 position. So Ryan Ezell really charging through the field and starting from 27.
Yeah, 14 positions now taking over that 13th spot. Well, still fighting for Craig Burns. Craig going to roll out of it and give way to the 5 here. So now up to the 13th position for Ryan Ezell. Great run, and then just ahead of him, Ryan Bean, that we talked about, up 20 positions in 12th, and Jeff Carson ahead of him, up 10 positions in 11th.
Still got to commend the strategy from the Slide Racing guys. They still are holding on to about the 8th position. I mean, the 8th, 6th, and 4th. I mean, that is just so impressive to see that they're holding on to this right now. As we look back at the 22 Harold Watkins, he's in the 21st position behind Nathan Campbell and directly ahead of Chad Beeson.
Looking at some guys back here in the mid-pack finding a little bit more as the run's going on here, starting to make some pretty good runs out of the corner. But you can see the draft is just so strong for the cars that are tucked in line here, even if you have that big run on the exit.
You can see it looks just tough to follow too. So I mean it's a common theme we see here, especially at a track like this. You know, you got a flat high-speed corner like 3, very tough to follow. Same with turn 2. Turn 1 maybe a little bit easier, but man, it's still very tough there. As you see, Ryan Ezell does make that pass. He's now up to the 13th position. He's got Ryan Bean directly ahead and Jeff Carson in the 81.
It looks like Jeff Carson maybe backing it off a little bit here. Ryan Ezell able to really close the gap now on Ryan Bean. And Ryan Bean even to the nearly the back bumper of Jeff Carson. Craig Burns able to give the 5 of Ryan Ezell a decent little push there down the second straight out of turn 1 to turn 2. And Ryan Ezell maybe struggling with the front end just a little bit. Again, dirty air. Looked like he was a little bit wide going through turn 2. Just you see again through turn 3, a little bit wider of an entry. But as soon as he gets right behind the 25, trying to get a late apex on that corner, hit that dirty air and kind of hurts his speed. But now he's got the big draft down the front stretch here.
Yeah, big draft there from that 25. Just not gonna be able to give him enough to get the move down in here to 1. And I tell you what, the gap up front closing in. Massetti, what a rocket ship of a race car that guy's got, as he's closed it down to 1.6 seconds up front. As you see the battle here between the 13 of Tony Ludi and the 31 of Casey Kuntz, as this is the battle for 16th as they go down to the tunnel turn. Looks like Ludi going to get the advantage here as they head to the tunnel turn. Side by side here now through the center. 31 starting to charge back forward. Now side by side directly off the corners. Look, Campbell, Racing Cortrone behind that, and author Anthony Yunez directly behind there.
I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with the amount of speed that Campbell and Yunez are able to get out of these cars, considering the contact that we saw between them earlier. Nathan Campbell hitting the inside wall pretty hard, and Anthony Yunez getting caught up in the incident right at the start there with David Hall going for a pretty big spin and a lot of contact, a lot of damage on the 54. Got it fixed up very nicely. A lot of opportunity under caution here with the big pace laps, long pace laps, to get that thing on pit road and get it fixed up, and they've done a great job now inside the top 20.
It's been a battle back here in this top 20, trying to get everything they can here. As you got a train of cars being led by that 81 of Jeff Carson down into the tunnel turn. Or sorry, not Jeff Carson, the 31 of Casey Kuntz there, leading the 16th place cars there leading that field. But man, now Nathan Campbell trying to take the position from him, as he'll go to the inside and he will get it done out of 3.
Well, just ahead of him, I'm looking at Tony Ludi, and he's been able to kind of pull away from these guys, starting to reel in that cluster of cars directly ahead of him as well. He's got a lot of speed. Ooh, and Nathan Campbell throwing a block on Casey Kuntz there to protect the inside of turn 1. Risky business.
Risky business out there for sure. I just see him come off of 1, definitely spreading out. And that's this track, man, it's just so wide. There's so many options, but a lot of those options are pretty bumpy and very treacherous.
Yeah, especially if you try to hold off somebody from blocking you going all the way down to the apron. That apron, very bumpy. I've been run down there a few times, and there's there's a few tracks that I've experienced that have bumps like that on the surface, and none of those tracks are very fun. So I would not recommend having to go down there by any means. You can make it work, but yeah, definitely don't recommend it.
And now look at this on our board here. The manufacturer board looks like some Chevy domination here. Look back at the first car. In 10th place is our first Chevy, and man, you know, we do. I've done a lot of leagues in my time, and a lot of times it is very common for leagues being a pretty much Chevy league. And I tell you what, there's a lot of bow ties out there on the track.
Yeah, it's a shame because the Chevy doesn't really look all that nice compared to the Mustang, but definitely, I mean, I think we can all agree here that the Camry's not really that good looking compared to the Chevy. So Robert is indignant up here in the booth. He's not happy with that
one. We have just poked the bear in the booth. We have got to step back for a moment because this is dangerous. But yeah, I tell you what, it's definitely interesting always to see manufacturer differences. But man, a lot of people prefer their Chevrolet, and I gotta commend them for that. So I'm a big fan.
Well, I mean, it is funny though that Zach and I, if we look at our team, it's pretty split down the middle. Two drivers with Chevy, two drivers with Ford.
That's all right. We got diversity, and that's
right.
That's what it's about. Manufacturer diversity out there, and that's what we bring. But it's also very interesting to see how these tires are playing out right now, because I tell you what, these guys are just doing a heck of a job for Slide Job Racing, the drivers there. But now they've kind of actually all clumped up together. This is actually pretty interesting to see the pace between these three, because now 8th, 9th, and 10th. They're still looking to get stage points, man.
They are as well. And looking at the time difference, Stephen Baldwin last lap, probably the closest to the laps that they are running. But they're about, Travis Everett last time by a second off of what the leader Hunter Hayward ran. Curtis Preston and GT a little bit quicker, running almost 55 seconds even, running 55.1s. To the rest of the field, pretty much mid 54-second lap times. I don't know the gap to Ryan Bean directly behind GT, but I think there's just going to be a little bit too much left in this stage for GT to be able to hold on to that top 10 for the stage points.
It's going to be so tough with Ryan Bean, but also Ryan Bean has not pit for tires, so that's the big thing also. Looking back at that, he didn't take 4 tires, so and Ezel gets past him, puts himself up to the 11th position. So Ryan Ezel trying to get stage points here tonight at Pocono.
And Ryan Ezel on those fresh tires, he closed up the gap quite a bit there through turn 1. It's just the center speed that's the biggest difference with these fresher tires. It's where you absolutely make your lap times here. You need the good runs off of the corners to set up the long straightaways, but just being able to carry that little bit extra in the center makes a huge difference. You see even now, almost a lap later, Ryan Ezel has gone from just passing Ryan Bean almost to the back bumper of GT, sorry. And there's a caution.
Oh man, that's going to set up something interesting here.
Oh no, James Catrone.
Yeah, it looks like James Catrone there involved in this incident. Orange Nissan Central caution, 3rd of the night, and it looks like Harold Watkins also in the 22. So tunnel turn comes back to bite again here. So go in the replay and check out exactly what happened here going down into the tunnel turn. Turn number 2 here at Pocono. The 38 of Catrone. And look, he's really close to the car ahead of him. Dirty air wash. That nose is just no saving that nose. Hits the outside wall. Harold Watkins to the inside of him, has nowhere to go. Now they're both going to go for a ride down the infield, and man, Harold Watkins going to get the hard lick on the nose, knock the nose off the car, and that's going to be almost night over.
And again, it's another one of those situations where you're just not expecting to have to lift. Again, like coming off of turn 2 right there, at that portion, it's full throttle. And Harold Watkins, unfortunately, not expecting to have a car that slow coming off the wall directly ahead of him here. Not enough time to react to it. And going to go for a ride like you saw there, get heavy contact on the nose. And If I think he might be able to stay out here and keep the car running. Definitely going to be off the pace. Just hoping some other guys have a lot of issues and a lot worse damage than he has here to gain some positions.
Thank you everybody for tuning in here tonight. Just looking out there on the YouTube. Got 21 viewers at the moment. Thank you guys. That is amazing here on YouTube. And make sure if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and hit that notification bell to let you know when we go live each time here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And hit us out there in the chat. And anything, any questions you got, concerns or comments, just let us know, and we will get to that in a jiffy. But man, back under caution here for the third time tonight. What does the strategy play out here, Brandon? Because I'm thinking of all different types of things. Does the slide job racing drivers elect to come down and get the tires that they waited for now and try to get some more stage points, or do they try to hold them off?
That is the question you'd have to ask yourself if you are the slide job racing team here. Do you try to make use of that advantage now, or do you wait?
Interesting call from our leader. I was not expecting this. Look, Dustin Stallings will be the next car to follow with down pit road. And I tell you what, I don't know what kind of call that was there from the 48. That was the easy stage one, and he's changing tires.
This means that
this is a huge mistake.
He's going to have to not take tires during the end of the stage. This is exactly what this means for him. He's going to be on such a disadvantage at the end of stage 2. Again, I would have to say that this was a wrong call for the 48 here. Great track position, giving it up, essentially putting himself behind on the tire strategy as well. It was a decent call for the slide job guys to make this call, because they were going to have the guaranteed caution here only 25 laps later. But now for Hunter Hayward, after the end of stage 2, we've got 49 laps where there's no guaranteed cautions. So he's already going to be on the back foot to start that long stretch of the race here. Going to be interesting to see if he can rebound from it.
And, oh man, I just don't like that call. He's going to give up the stage win here. First of all, where he could have won both stages. I mean, that's great points, and for him, he's got to think big picture here. I know he's got a race win, but he needs to stay in the top 20 points. He does not need to jeopardize his point standings by falling out of there, because that'll take him out of contention. And you know, it's just one of those things, man. It's I don't know what the call was there, and he's giving up stage points here, and then also not having another set of tires to take it to stage there, and you know, having to save that last final set he has. He's going to be at somewhat of a disadvantage,
especially if the strategy plays out for the slide job racing guys, where you get a super late caution after their last pit stop, their last scheduled pit stop, where they're going to be able to slap on that set that they've saved. It's going to be a huge disadvantage for him. But I'm thinking, you know, he may be able to race back up and get the stage win on these fresher tires, but you can't afford to abuse these tires that you're going to have to run so long on to be able to do that. Yeah, he's going to have to pull out some 1000 IQ type strategy here to kind of bounce back from this one.
man. I'm just questioning the call in my head, and you know, it's just the crew chief inside my brain going crazy, saying, why would you do that? But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what type of call he makes here. My thing is, you know, you're racing the guys behind you that have not took a set of tires yet. They now have 3 sets to your 1. That is a major disadvantage here with more than half of this race still left to play.
And I'll tell you from experience, Zach, I've been in a race here at Pocono where I thought I was doing fine, led a whole bunch of laps, seemed to have the quickest car, and then somehow at the end of the race, I think it was myself and 2 other cars ended up being the only cars in the field with no extra sets of tires to throw on for late caution. I went from a pretty dominant race to finishing back sub 20 just on the tire difference over the course of about 5 laps. It's definitely not where you want to be, and if you can at all avoid being in that position, it's exactly what you want to do. Some of these guys that have not taken a set yet, I love that strategy. You're going to be in the back, but if you get a rash of cautions at the end, you can afford to be kind of aggressive with your tire taking and just go after it.
Well, we'll see what the strategies unfold for like these drivers out here. Pace car is gonna pull in. We're gonna have 5 to go on the stage, and the green flag's out. Trevor Massetti is off and away. Bob Fitzpatrick there restarting in second. Stephen Baldwin in that 4th position. Looks like he's gonna try to take 3rd as Adam Buzzio there in the 55 also.
Well, Travis Everett, I think, was trying to bump draft Adam Buzzio there. Got him a little out of shape. Maybe Stephen Baldwin coming across his nose. But, oh, again, the bumps down in turn 1 wreaking havoc for these guys on the restart. Saw a lot of noses get washed up.
A lot of cars sliding on new tires back here on cold stuff, as we'll be coming to 4 to go this next time by for the stage. And man, right now, Massetti out front, looking for a stage victory here at Pocono. Man, if this guy can get a victory here tonight, that would be so amazing to watch. But look at this battle. Here's Baldwin and the 55 Adam Buzzio. They're battling for a top 3 position here in the stage. They're going for everything, while Travis Everett directly behind him on the old tires. He says, maybe I could pick up something here even on these old tires.
It is a hornet's nest right back here from about 3rd place back to maybe the top 10. Ryan Nizell now 9th position. Craig Burns directly behind him. These guys are battling. Oh, no!
Oh, he was already in the back of his teammate, Preston. Big contact.
That was a whale of a save from the 29. Man, he was looking 90 degrees to the inside wall there, able to gather that back up.
Oh, man, I tell you what a save from last year's champion here in the Cup Series. That's the reason why he's got his stripes. Oh, man, I tell you what, they're beating the wall down here out of the tone turn. It looks like Matthew Rush and Craig Burns both taking it down off the exit.
I think Ryan Nizell getting a piece of that one as well. These guys racing hard. Only a couple laps left here at the end of the stage, trying to get as many stage points as possible. And right behind them, Anthony Eunice now. He's in 11th.
Yeah, he's trying to break into that position there to get some points. Oh man, Ryan Nizell also there. It's all over the place right now. Ryan Nizell is in it, but looks like Preston has slid back as he's going to be in the 11th position now. Yuna is sliding up to 10th. And it looks like Irizarry going to be able to hold on possibly to the 7th spot.
It's going to be close. Matthew Rush being really aggressive, but he's just not had the grip to carry the center speed, pushing him a lot on entry. I've seen him wash up a number of times now.
Looking on board here with the number 5, Orion Ezel, looking for good stage points here tonight. As Trevor Massetti will have 2 to go here in stage number 2, looking to pull off that victory. As Bob Fitzpatrick 6th and 2nd with Stephen Baldwin in 3rd. A lot of good stage points for a few guys tonight. Adam Buzzio, Baldwin, Burns, drivers that really need those points. And look at Junior Miller. He's right on the edge of possibly breaking in there too, as Preston's got back by Ezel.
Yeah, Preston got by Ezel, but he just had a big moment coming out of turn 1 there. Allowed Miller to get a good run to the inside of Ryan Ezel here. Might have him cleared. Going to be, looks like dead even coming out of the tunnel turn.
That battle for the final stage point. They got Ryan Bean directly behind the 25, and he is on fresher tires. And I believe what he's electing to do is just not push his tires too much here. And he's going to take the lead of this race once it all seconds to.
And I have to think, Zach, that Hunter Hayward, he has fallen back, and on the start there, he was just taking it easy, letting everybody by. I think he saw how little the difference in tires mattered, especially when if you can take care of them. He's going to cycle back to the lead after the stage here, be able to hang on to pretty good track position by the time pit stops come around for the midway point of the final stretch of this race here. It's not over yet for Ryan Bean and Hunter Hayward. I think the strategy might just be okay.
Yeah, they're going to need it, though, to definitely go green. One set of tires, they want this thing to go fully to the end. No cautions there unless it's before they took tires. So we'll have to see. But Massetti rounds off turn 3, and he is going to win stage number 2 here tonight for the RSR
Oh,
Cup
and they're
Series.
wrecking out of turn 3.
Oh, the big wreck. Who is involved? Looks like Baldwin and Buzzio. Oh man, yeah, it was contact between those two, and they only brought home 8th and 9th
Yeah, and
because
that
then
was
that could
for
have been 3rd and 4th.
yeah. That's man. I don't know exactly what caused that there. I think looked like Baldwin not quite getting a good run. Adam Buzzy rolling the top very well, and I think Baldwin may have just tried to cover the outside or a little bit of a wiggle, but
Yeah, a little bit
contact
of wiggle and some
nonetheless.
contact, yeah, between those two, and it's gonna end up not the greatest for them. But I tell you what, man, let's say Ryan Ezel's gonna take home the final point paying position for that stage, but Trevor Massetti will be the victor. And gotta give a shout out to, I mean, Travis Everett, 3rd, GT Rosari 5th, and Curtis Preston 7th. At the end of the day, they look very strong with 3 sets of tires still left in their pit boxes and some of the most stage points of any driver out there.
Absolutely. Not only did they hang on extremely well for the entire stage, but to be able to also gain, not even just 1 or 2 stage points, able to finish, in the top 5 for GT and Travis. Great job for them. And now they've got the tire advantage at the end. I think this might have just fallen into their hands.
Oh man, so we all hit pit road here. Does look like did a few drivers elect to stay out? Looks like Travis Everett and GT Rosari both electing to stay out here. So a lot of drivers did. Was pit road not open? Is my question.
I'm not sure.
I mean, multiple drivers hit pit road. I mean, Ryan Ezel, Bob Fitzpatrick and Trevor Massetti, but I that was a interesting call. Are the slot job racing guys trying to? I don't know. I mean, my thing is they need fuel.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pit a lot earlier than a lot of these other guys. I imagine if they don't pit here, they're gonna have to pit about 10 laps. I think with the 65% fuel load, you're only gonna have about 30, 32 laps on fuel as it was, and that stage was a little bit longer than 25 laps.
Oof. We'll have to see how it all plays out here as we go through pace laps, but we'll go ahead and pull up our stage winner of Mr. Trevor Massetti, as he was able to bring home the victory here for stage number 2. And I am blind because I cannot find this man. Oh, there he is. Of course, he's at Clutch Motorsports. What am I doing? We'll go ahead and pull him down. But here is Trevor Massetti, your stage 2 victor.
Hey, Trevor, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, man, congratulations on getting that stage 2 victory here, getting yourself 10 more bonus points, inching closer to the top of the board, man. It's been a strong run. You've been up there contending all day, taking advantage of a questionable call by Hunter to come down pit road to secure your stage win there and just kind of drive away from everybody, man. How's the car feeling?
The car feels really good. And honestly, I thought Hunter was making a dumb decision too, but that was obviously the right one because I don't know. I can't. I got a EOL because I had to go into a closed pit with the empty tank. So he's gonna be sitting better than me right now.
You were wondering about that as well as a lot of guys staying out were questioning what they were doing and trying to figure out if maybe the pits were closed for you guys, but hopefully that doesn't hurt you too bad. Still got a lot of pace to get back up through there, and I think, man, just keep that thing clean. You'll be back up at the front, contend for this first victory. Wish you the best of luck and let you get back down there, man. But we'll be watching pretty close on the 88.
Appreciate it. Hopefully it goes well.
All right, that was your stage 2 winner of Trevor Massetti, and yeah, so he ran out of fuel. That very interesting. So it's just being out front running those faster times, I think the fuel burned off more for them there. So man, what an interesting call for these drivers. And we may have time if you want to. Do we want to bring our stage 1 winner since we didn't get a confirmation on that earlier? And then maybe we can hear what type of strategy he's playing here, because he's definitely in a predicament here. We'll see if the pace lights go out this time. If they don't, well, they went out this time.
They did.
And I jinxed myself. I said if they go out, we're not gonna do it. And unfortunately, the pace lights were out. So Hayward will have to figure that out. It's he's in the lead. Big thing for him. Like I said, in the lead now. But man, definitely got a little bit of wear on those tires. Let's see what he can do out front though.
Well, based on what we saw out of the slide job racing guys, and they were on much older tires than what Hunter Hayward's going to be restarting here, I think he's going to get passed for the lead.
We're not going green.
Oh, they threw a extension for the caution here. Interesting.
Oh,
I think he's going to be in still a decent position.
okay. Well, let's bring out Hunter Hayward and see what he has to say. They want to extend the yellow for us. Let's do it. So here is Hunter Hayward, guys.
Hey, Hunter, Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I guess the league decided to go ahead and give us that interview with you by extending this caution here. But first, I got to say congratulations on the Stage 1 win. Confusion as to whether or not it was the stage caution there, or if that was going to be the end of the stage, so didn't get to talk to you. But man, had a great race so far, but the biggest question, why did you go down pit road before the end of this stage here?
You know, sometimes I question myself as well, but I just wanted to have an advantage at the start of stage 3 and be out in front like I am right now. That whole time during the 5-lap run that was at the end of stage 2, I was all the way in the back saving my stuff. I would be shocked if my tires were even wear down a little bit, but I think the fuel strategy is going to be crazy just a little bit. I know other people came down and topped off just more than me, and they're going to be full on fuel, but it'll be interesting. I know it's going to be a fuel saving strategy for me as well. Or for me, definitely. Can't speak right now, like always. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish. Let's see how many more cautions there'll be. But I am confident in my strategy. I mean, I'm not no Chad Knaus, but I do my best. But I would just like to thank all my teammates out there, all my sponsors, everybody out there who gets us started on the track, and looking forward to maybe being in the top 3 after this race.
Well, one more question before we let you go back down there. We heard Trevor Massetti had to pit during closed pit because he was about to run out of fuel. You know, what is the fuel limit for you guys? How many laps are we looking at here?
So we got 12.2 gallons, about 65%, 60% fuel. Today, I believe that is around 24, 23-ish, even though the stages were 25, so I was kind of confused. But yeah. I think that's also the other reason I pitted and I took tires. The fuel was the reason. Tires, I don't know why. I kind of just had a brain fart moment. I was knowing that I had to do it at the end of the stage anyway, so I just took it then. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think if this race stays green till the end of stage 3 and the end of the race, I think you're going to see a lot of cars coasting at the end of the race.
Well, thanks for the information, bud. Let you get back down there as you guys coming out of turn 2 now. Wish you the best of luck, and keep the fenders clean. Maybe we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Sure.
All right, that was your stage 1 winner of Hunter Hayward. As we luckily got that extra lap there under caution to get a chat there with the 48 and hear his thought. And he said didn't want to take the tires, did though. We'll see how he can play it out. He said he scooted, he just drove around, didn't get no wear on the tires. Let's see if he can do it, because he's going to have Curtis Preston, GT, or Zari, 2 drivers he's had dealing with already today. And they're going to be on fresher tires as the pace car pulls in. Hayward off and away as the green flag waves in. Oh, man.
Looks like a misshift out of the 48.
Yeah. Major problems there. And I can confirm he is on a H pattern, so he most likely missed his shift there. And that is a costly mistake, as now Dustin Stallings up to the lead.
Oh, heads up for everybody avoiding that. Ooh, big check up there. GT getting big loose on the outside there.
Big moments here off of turn number 1, 3 wide.
Oh, boy.
Down towards the tunnel turn. Hayward to the inside here in the 48, but now it's going to be 2 wide here as he goes to the inside of Irizarry. Can Preston hold the outside? He cuts back low, but Hayward slides up, holds the position here off the exit 2 with Stallings out front leading.
Well, that just tells me that Hunter Hayward's tires are indeed not as bad as he thinks, and still even a little bit loose out of the 48, going to lose a ton of time now out of turn 3. Look at the run Curtis Preston able to get.
Yeah, Preston going to get a huge run here. You're going to see GT get a gigantic run on Stallings, who does have major damage on the nose, so I got to give him credit. Oh, look, Hayward goes back to the inside down into 1 and 2, does the cross. I don't know if he's going to make that work, slide up in front and getting loose like that. Definitely a little aggressive, and I tell you what, Preston's not going to definitely cut him much slack for that.
Yeah, for one, he's absolutely killing the rear tires, and we know these two are going to drive each other as aggressively as anyone else in this field here. Definitely some history between the 48 and the 29, but you know they love to race each other hard. Hunter with the worn tires, and looks like Curtis with a little bit of damage on the rear after the contact from his teammate GT. Surprised GT does not have more damage on his nose from that as well, but she doesn't look to be affecting the 29 too badly.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us something to ooh and ah about up here when we get them side by side, so it definitely is something interesting. Yeah, I was really worried about the 48 there. That was a big move, slide up in front of that 29. 29 cut him a big thing of slack there. I give you got to credit there.
Oh no!
Oh no! And there's contact between him and Stallings. He's gonna go back up the racetrack, overcorrect, and oh no! Major issues for the 48 and Curtis Preston. Oh, and Matt Rush. Oh no! Just gonna have to point out, say it, just a little bit, maybe too much aggression from the 48 there.
I don't think that was too much aggression. I think again it was just not expecting Stallings to be that slow off the corner where you're going to be full throttle. He got a little bit loose and go wide, but again, I know Hunter runs VR, should have been able to see that. Maybe a little bit better job checking up there. Definitely could have been avoided for sure. But man,
You know, back on that thing, I mean, definitely an aggressive move trying to get the position, but, you know, Stallings getting loose there, Hayward sliding up the racetrack there on exit, and, you know, Stallings just trying to do his best to just not wreck that car, and Hayward's there on the inside, and it's going to give him a little tail whip, and unfortunately for Hayward, he did the one thing you don't really want to do, and I'll say that's probably the big mistake from the whole situation is when you correct right back into the field. I know you're trying to save it, but you gotta think about them drivers out on the racetrack behind you, and definitely he's gonna be thinking about that one.
absolutely. Yeah, and then at the end of this year, Matthew Rush, just so much smoke, can't see Hunter, comes in and just drills him, sends Hunter turtling down the backstretch here. Wow, that was calamity for a lot of guys.
Yeah, mayhem ensuing there to bring out our Warren Nissan Central caution, and start of the final stage has been pretty crazy, but you know what? The driver that took a huge hit there when the 48 came back up the racetrack was the 29 of Curtis Preston. And I gotta look at this car, but man, I mean, there's damage, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought the front end was going to be gone. It's definitely splitter damage, so he's going to feel the extent of that. But man, Curtis Preston could have been looking at another DNF here, and it's definitely not been going his way the past few weeks. The way the season started off for him.
Absolutely not. Yeah, obviously Curtis Preston coming down here to get that thing worked on, try to get that as flattened out as possible. And, you know, I'm sure Curtis, it didn't look like he lifted. And in that situation, you can't expect the guy to. You see the car sliding to the inside. You don't expect the guy to come sliding back up the track and take you out there when you should have been clear. So unfortunate that, you know, not only Curtis, but a lot of guys in the back of the field got collected, and that well kind of checked up a lot of guys and caused a lot of issues for a number of different cars. Seeing quite a few guys now without hoods, without front ends, and some blown engines as well.
Looks like everything transpiring here late in the going here at Pocono. But GT out front right now. Remember, no wins this season yet other than the All-Star race at Bristol. Not a points-paying win, so he wants to get that done and checked off before we head into the playoffs. And I tell you what, this 14, if he starts winning right before the playoffs starts, man, that's bad news for everybody.
Yeah, he's going to be carrying a lot of momentum into the playoffs there, start racking up wins right at the tail end. And especially, you know, Pocono, we're racing here now, but this is also a playoff track. If GT can get a win at a track that he knows they're going to go back to in the playoffs, that's going to be a lot of confidence, and especially at the later stages of the playoffs when they're going to be back here at Pocono.
Very, very true, Brandon. Very true. We will be back here. So, this is a good thing to learn for this 14. And man, I'm telling you, if he breaks through tonight, this guy is going to explode and be so happy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're normally GT gets pretty animated. Guy loves to talk during his interviews and joke around with us up here, and he gets a win. He's going to be super excited. And that's an interview that I can't wait for.
Definitely cannot. And, in the round of 8, this will be one of the races, like you said there, Brandon. So this is a good learning experience, in my opinion. You also got where he won at Bristol in the round of 12. So GT Irizarry looking very, very strong for those playoffs. He just needs to get a win in his back pocket to solidify his strong season.
Absolutely, and for sure, it's just been we talk about it all the time, seemingly each and every week, just so close to those wins, coming up just a little bit short. And talk to him, he's like, man, we're gonna get there, and just might be the day.
Just might be. Well, pace car lights are off. We're going down the straightaway ahead towards the tunnel turn. Then we'll hit the short shoot in turn 3, and we'll be back green flag racing before you know it. But again, thank you everybody for tuning in here to Freaky Fast Broadcast. And as always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also that notification bell here on on YouTube here tonight. And thank you everybody for tuning in, though. It has been a great time, and we are about to get it back going. And there's plenty of this race still left. We gotta think about fuel now also. Man, I don't know how this is all gonna shake out.
It's the fuel mileage being a lot less than what we initially thought it was, hearing from Hunter during his interview. Just enough to seemingly make the stages about 24, 25 laps there. That kind of opens this up a lot. It's a 49 lap final segment of the race here, cut up a little bit by these caution laps. Going to be able to save a little bit, but you may just be running out of fuel coming across the line.
Well, we'll see. Here it goes. Pace car is in. GT Irizarry off and away here. Has a great start out front, man. Stallings with that damage hanging in there tough. As they head down to 1, Stallings will have that position. But now Junior Miller up to 3rd, and Craig Burns, James Catrone, Casey Kuntz in 6th. I mean, the whole field is just shooken up here tonight, Pocono.
Yeah, that really, if you look at the scoring here, I mean, everybody in the top 7 up a position at least. GT up 1, but you've got Chad Biesinger in 7th place, up 22. Craig Burns up 18. Casey Kuntz in 6th, up 14, now 15, now back to 14. These guys are racing so hard. Scoring can't keep up with them. Junior Miller, 3rd place, up 13 positions. These guys taking a huge advantage of some misfortune by other guys. Oh, a little bit of contact from Casey Kuntz in 38.
Well, yep, we're seeing this live there live now. Oh, man. What a moment. As they go down the front straightaway, now they're going to fan out here. There's Travis Everett in that 59 Hooters machine. He's trying to work his way forward again. Pole setter for this race. He's been super fast. Here comes Bob Fitzpatrick.
And a rebound now was running really strong at the end of stage 2. Looking to crack now back up toward the top 5 here. Going to be racing side by side with Chad Biesinger, which Chad having a really good race himself. Not really seeing him up at the front too many times this season, but putting together a strong top 10 running tonight.
A lot of guys showing good top 10 runs here tonight, Brandon. I mean, it's kind of, right now, the way it's spread out. If it was the end this way, I tell you what, there's a lot of guys coming out here with giant smiles. But right now, it's still got a lot to go, shake up with the way the fuel can play out. And right now, you're watching battles ensue from the 10th position on back. 3 wide behind that, Nathan Campbell, Jeff Carson, and Anthony Yunez, as Yunez goes around the outside and Carson down on the bottom.
Unfortunately, looks like there's a bit of left front nose damage on the 81 of Jeff Carson here, going to be hindering his speed. Hoping to go back in and get that fixed up as much as possible. Really hoping for a caution. I'm sure the driver of the 81 right now. But Nathan Campbell looking to cut his way up through this mess of cars. And Ryan Ezell also having a spectacular race here, running 14th, was just just made it inside the top 10 there for the second stage to get himself some stage points. But a number of guys now slowly inching forward that were involved in some incidents earlier on. Anthony Eunice now 13th position. Just clinging and hoping that some other incidents happen like that. Guys can kind of get even out on damage with him and he can really show his speed.
The moment still, GT Rosario with a 1.4 second lead out front. Anthony Yunez there. He's been really going forward there. Oh, big moment. Oh.
Chad Biesinger underneath James Catrone in the 38. 23 got up the track just a little bit. James is having all the experience in the world tonight, wheeling that car to keep it saved.
And I went back and looked at what a save is. They get out of the tail turn.
Yeah.
It's going to get close here, too. Off the exit. Wow.
James is saying, come on, guys, give me some space.
Oh, man, definitely. That was an intense moment as he drives past Chad Biesinger there in the 23. See if he can run Bob Fitzpatrick down. But, man, what race have we seen here at Pocono in this midfield?
It's been spread out a lot of places, but you have these gaggle of cars that it's just guys can't seem to get away from each other. It's just door-to-door racing seemingly every corner, every lap.
Oh, the 31 of Coots in front of the 17 is Avenue with a little bit on the outside. I tell you what, you couldn't stick a piece of paper between the 17 front bumper and the rear bumper of the 31.
And he's pushing him down toward the tunnel turn here. Big run from Casey going in, but he's going to get tight. Oh, and Ryan Azell getting tight behind the 17.
It's getting crazy here. The heart rates are picking up as it's getting down to that final stage. And this is the point of the race here now, where you got to get everything you can, and the strategy really becomes a factor. We got to start thinking about when these guys want to start pitting too, Brandon. You know, we heard it from Hunter Hayward say about 23 laps is what he thought you could do. So with 23 to go, do we start seeing people pit?
I think especially if you are a guy that's kind of up toward the front, feeling confident with your pace, maybe even somebody like GT from the lead who has that, you know, maybe that extra set he can bank on, hit a little bit earlier. You can afford to have a little bit older tires on some of the other guys after the cycle, because if you get a caution, which the way these guys are racing, it looks like that's probably going to happen at some point, you can afford to go ahead and slap that last set on and charge back up through the field. So go as soon as you're able to make it, and now being within that window here, I imagine we're going to see some guys maybe take that opportunity.
What strategies can we play looking here at the 28 of Junior Miller here? Looking back at that, look at a Freaky Fast logo. Thank you there for 28 for running that. We always appreciate that out there. But look, man, that 59, he got a lot bigger in our rear chase cam here. And he's definitely closing in. Travis Everett, our pole setter, trying to make his statement in this race and drive back up to the front.
Got that Alan Kowalski, Chase Elliott Hooters throwback there. Pretty nice. Travis Everett. I love that car.
I really do like that throwback. That is a very, very nice one that we've seen so far. And what a move also there from the 59 as he gets by the 28 Junior Miller. Junior Miller having a great race. That's the top 5 run right now. If he can continue this and get himself a solid top 10 position here tonight, he should be pretty excited about that here, Pocono.
I think so as well. And Zach, I've got a question. Do you know or remember who the champion was for NASCAR the year you were born?
Yes. Dale Earnhardt.
See, I am very partial to Alan Kulwicki because he was the champion the year I was born.
In 92, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was born in 93, and Earnhardt went the next year. Unfortunately, we lost Kulwicki in 93, but yeah, man.
In 75, Robert, that I don't know. It's probably Eddie.
Was it
Who
Pearson?
knows?
Maybe Pearson.
Maybe Pearson. Somebody Google quick. Tell us in chat who won the
in the
NASCAR
chat.
championship in 75.
I know somebody knows out there. I'm surprised I'm kind of mad I don't know, actually. I think it might have... could have possibly been Earnhardt too, because that might have been his rookie year or his second year. Oh, it was Richard Petty. Sorry, it's Richard Petty. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Richard Petty was his sixth of his seven. Yeah, it's his sixth of his 7 championships.
See, that's what I said.
I mean, you can't go wrong when you say Richard Petty won the championship. I mean, you got a pretty good chance, with either Earnhardt, Petty, or Johnson.
In the 70s, no. In the 80s, 90s, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common names up there in the leaderboards of the history here, and it's always great to have that. But man, we are under 30 laps to go now, Brandon. I think we're gonna be nearing pit stops here within the next 5 to 10 laps. Who's gonna be first to crack and come down here and really show their hand?
Well, I think I heard Dustin Stallings just off of pit road last time by here. I don't remember exactly where he fell back to, but that nose damage was dropping pretty rapidly through the field. But I think I've got to imagine one of our top 3, maybe even Travis Everett in 4th, might decide to try to do that undercut for this pit stop here. But still, nobody's flinched.
Nobody yet has elected to hit pit road. I don't think you're going to see that happen at least till 25 or 24 to go, because just due to the fact of what we've seen, Bassetti, he ran out, and he even had a caution. That's the thing. So it's without a caution, it's going to be almost impossible to do 25 unless you major save. This could come down to a fuel mileage race, like Hunter Hayward said during his interview.
Yeah, some of these guys, like looking at Travis Everett here, running right behind Craig Burns, maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel, running half to 3/4 throttle, just trying to get that little bit of extra distance out of the car.
And I tell you what, I think Everett was one of the drivers who possibly topped off to Brandon, and that's what he lost his track position from. So he could be looking at that in a very good spot here. As if you're GT, it's hard to save fuel when you're all alone out there with no draft.
Absolutely, it is, and all you can do is you can maybe try clutching into the corners, but it's gonna be having to run about 75% throttle down the straightaways, lifting really early, waiting really long to get back into the gas. And the fact that he hasn't given up his lead yet would tell you that he's not really trying to save too much, if at all, right now.
That's it. Anthony Younes, he's continuing to go forward as he passes Chad Biesinger. He slides up to 8th now, and Anthony Younes has had a heck of a race. Same with Chad Biesinger too. Both those drivers driving way up to the field.
Yeah, very up and down day for Anthony Younes. Started off on a really low point, but slowly climbing back up here to a good finish. Chad Biesinger, after his incident with James Catrone, maybe kind of backing off a little bit here. Maybe feeling like the car's not handling quite as good as he would like, just can't quite get the speed out of it, as he's gotten passed by a number of cars just this last lap.
Yeah, and it's just one of these tracks where it's kind of like it's almost kind of like an auto club effect. If you get trains formed, it's hard to make passes because of the draft on the outside lane. Especially when you get to the inside, somebody, oh man, look at that. Zabaldil make a big move there on Little. He covered it off there.
Now we know Kevin Zabaldil can be a bit on the aggressive side there. And a little bit of time left in the race here. You can afford to lift for those blocks, but down in the late stages, you throw a block like that, hope you can hold on to it when they get to your bumper.
Oh, for sure. It could be fireworks here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting as they'll be coming by this time here for around lap 25 to go here. So nobody yet to pit up front. I think they need to stretch it at least another lap or two before they can hit pit road.
And the danger there is that they can stretch it that far, but if we get a green-white checkered, there's going to be some guys that are probably going to come down for tires anyway. I don't know if that would be the smart call with that few laps to go. But if you're only making it to the end of the race, you get a green-white checkered, you're just almost everybody, I think, would have to pit, so it might work out well because you're not going to have enough for that those last 2 laps.
We'll see how it all plays out, but here with 25 to go, right before pit stops are going to start to kick off, we're going to head to a commercial break here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and give a word to our partners out there, and we will be back in a few moments, everybody.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
All right, we're back here, everybody. As you see the lead transfer over to Craig A. Burns' hands as GT Azari, he's hitting pit road.
Yeah, it looked like Travis Everett, his teammates, started that cycle. First car to hit pit road, Dustin Stallings, and then the 112 of Kevin Ruff to follow suit there. But now the leader's starting to come in. How long do the rest of these guys wait, and how long can they go?
And there it is, the race off of pit road. Man, Massetti made up so much time. I'm telling you what, that 88, it's going to be a battle, I think, between possibly these two. Here comes Everett also on the new tires. This will be a top 3 battle down to the end with 21 to go. I love what we got playing out right now.
Well, that's going on. It's allowed Bob Fitzpatrick to cycle to the lead. J.R. Miller now in second. Not too far behind Bob, so might be a slight battle right there, but they got to be coming in pretty quick because everybody behind them has just hit pit road.
As you can see, Everett made the pass to take that once everything cycles through second place. But man, I tell you what, if you're Massetti, you liked how this is playing out, but at the same time, you got two teammates that you know are going to somewhat work together here to try to make sure they can bring this home here. But I tell you what, they're going to battle for the victory. We know the slide drive racing guys, they don't pull over for their teammates. It's going to be a battle down to the end. I think this is going to be one of the best battles we could see all season. Everett makes a big wiggle off of 2, and that's going to let Massetti get the big run.
And GT pulling down to help the draft, to try to keep his teammate to the inside of the 88. Not quite going to work, though. And another factor you have to think about, not only does Trevor Massetti have to deal with teammates, but the two guys that seem to be his biggest competition right now, they've got another set of tires that they can rely on.
Very true, Brandon. Very, very true that these guys can rely on that for a backup. I mean, it's going to be, if there's a caution, they're going to really be licking their chops. But at the moment, if I'm GT, I don't want any caution.
I don't think you do. The field is so spread out, and you've only got two guys now that you're racing with. You're sitting in a very, very good position here. Yeah, I'm still bewildered that Bob Fitzpatrick or Harold Watkins have still not come in to pit road.
Yeah, this is interesting calls, and I'll tell you what, I mean, they possibly could be trying the super speedway strategy of possibly catching a caution here, but at the same time, they're going to have to pit for fuel at some point. They are making themselves good for a green-white checker, though, Brandon, and that's what I do like.
That is absolutely true, and I mean, this is kind of one of the dangerous times, most dangerous times during the race, that cycle. You know, we saw even Travis Everett having that big slide on his fresh tires. They're just trying to get the power down to race with his teammate. You're relying on somebody just goosing it a little bit too much and going around, bringing out that caution, and give you some pretty good track position. Well, not necessarily good track position, but the freshest tires by far, and absolutely going to be good on fuel.
18 to go. How is it all going to shake out here at the Pocono Raceway? Fitzpatrick still out front with Harold Watkins now within distance. GT Irizarry and Trevor Massetti and Travis Everett as they now pass Harold Watkins and take the second, third, and fourth positions. With 17 to go, Fitzpatrick's now the only driver not to have pit, as I think Watkins coming in this time, he may be out of fuel.
I'm listening to him. Doesn't sound like he's sputtering just yet. I think maybe just getting off the track surface to let those guys race it out.
Very nice of him there, as you're right on board with Fitzpatrick here, our race leader. He is still yet to pit, and it's getting down. It's going to be 16 to go next time by. I don't think there's no way he's played this where he can make it, of course. There's not really much of that going on here as Ryan Ezel goes by to try to unlap himself in that 14th position. And there you see he does go by the three of Bob Fitzpatrick, and remember those two are teammates. So let's see if he can help him out. Right now, a 26-second gap back to second place. Man, Fitzpatrick, I don't know what he's playing here, but he's definitely doing some type of strategy.
He's gonna have to hit pit road within the next 2 laps. Right now, it looks like he is on lap 24 of his fuel run. Last pit on lap 59. Looks like he just came in to top off, but that tank is about to run dry here at any moment.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he has to hit pit road this time, Brandon, because, I mean, we heard from people say 23, 22 laps. He's done 24 now. He'll be looking to take 25. Yes, I think he's coming this time. Yep. So 24 laps is what he's going to do.
Well, going to have a good bit fresher tires than everybody else. I think if he gets a caution, you know, we know the slide racing guys have tires, but he's going to have the freshest tires of the guys that don't.
I like that. I like that call. It also gives him a strategy for if there is a green-white checker to save some fuel.
Yeah, and another thing is, on top of that, if we get that late caution, other guys are going to have to pit, even if they don't have a set of tires to be able to make the green-white checkered, whereas Bob won't. So he'll have fresher tires than them and be able to gain the track position over them and really slot in behind the guys that have saved that extra set. So this is going to work out pretty well, and I think a lot of guys that tried that strategy for the extra set have already found themselves in trouble. So he should come out of that, I think, with a top 5 on the restart even.
Well, with 15 to go, the lead has transferred back to the hands of GT Irizarry. And I tell you what, Massetti not too far behind. Teammate Travis Everett is a couple car lengths still back there, but not in distance to really help teammate GT Irizarry here. I think this is going to be somewhat of a battle between these top two here.
I think since that slide, Travis Everett really trying to cool off the rears, and you see him snaking down the front stretch here, doing an old Indy snake. And man, it's a battle right now between two guys that haven't got a win yet, a points-paying win yet this season, that desperately want and deserve one.
Definitely so. As Massetti, remember, he was, I believe, our dual winner from the season. So he's won like just like GT, not a non-points paying race, and these two have been so strong all season. I mean, that's why they're top 3 in points, and now they're going for a battle of their first wins after 16 rounds. That just shows the strength of the RSR Cup Series.
It really does. I mean, Trevor Massetti back by 40 points here, but a win is just going to be huge for morale, as well as gaining extra points on top of some guys. You know, Curtis Preston had the issue earlier. He's going to be able to gap him or gain a lot of points on him by quite a bit, finishing ahead of Travis Everett, who's behind him right now, who's also behind him in the points, going to extend the lead over him, and then just slowly making up the ground to GT, who's our current points leader.
Oh, and GT's having big slides off of 1 there, man. Every time, and Massetti is closing in. GT's trying to do his best to break the draft, but with 13 to go, if Massetti can get closer and closer each lap, it's going to put more and more pressure. But the thing is, it's hard to follow right there. The tunnel turn is where GT is going to have his most, comfort, just because he has the clean air there, and the 88 behind him just is not going to turn as well.
And that's where, you know, as a driver, you have to make the adjustment. You kind of have to back out of the corner a little bit earlier and try to set up the run. You cannot try to keep even with the guy, because the dirty air is just going to burn your right front up, just trying to keep the speed with the guy. Set up for the good exit, which is going to pay off even more here at Pocono with how long these straightaways are and the draft of the car ahead of you. And so far, he's doing a pretty good job of it. The gap has stayed about the same, but I'm noticing it looks like GT going in just a little bit hotter than Trevor. And I've got to say, based on what we're seeing so far, if this thing goes green, I think this is Trevor Massetti's race. But if they get a caution with that extra set they've been able to save, I think GT's got a strong chance to beat even his teammate Travis Everett after they come in and get their set of tires.
Yeah, only 14 cars on the lead lap, and that's definitely going to affect that. Even if they go by Harold Watkins there, now only 13 cars, so makes it a lot less of a drive through the field for them new tires if they do get that caution. But at the moment, you're already hanging on to that lead, and what I'm seeing, the 88 better in 1, but he loses all the time he gains. Down in 2, I think he needs to search for something down in 3, because he seems like he's breaking even there, possibly in the dirty air. If he can just find a little more grip by running, maybe a little bit more air on that nose, maybe he can find that grip in that time to close in the gap, because he's making GT think. I mean, GT's having to break that draft and really close that run down, but here, look at the tunnel turn. GT actually a little high there. That lets Massetti actually get the nose a little bit lower, and he actually stays pretty close there on the exit, doing a great job.
He's just going to have to try to run about a lane higher than what GT's able to do. But on the exit, if Massetti can somehow keep it more toward the bottom, it looks like GT's washing up on the exits here. But still, this is about the closest he's been in a number of laps now. Honestly, if I'm Massetti, I am trying to chase that draft down the front stretch here, get ever so close as much as I can, just to hope maybe GT has another one of those big slides, put some pressure on him, see if he gets back to the throttle a little bit too soon.
You can see he's just a little bit better than GT, down and out of 1 there. As GT breaks that draft, I understand what Massetti's doing. He's saying, I'm holding my line, just go run my line, and I'm going to make this pass. But I think he needs to utilize that draft a little bit.
Yeah, you have to have that draft on the straights to offset what you're going to lose in the corners due to the dirty air. And it's, obviously really smart of GT trying to make him have to work to get as much of the draft as possible here. But Massetti's not even attempting to use that to his benefit, just staying. Now he's going to try to snake with him here, but not quite following him, just a half-hearted attempt at it. I think you need to chase that guy every single inch of the pavement he tries to take.
Going to need everything possible to get by this 14. He's going to make that car 5 lanes wide when this 88 comes by, because this is for the first victory of the season for both of these drivers. And I tell you what, Travis Everett saying behind, yeah, you guys are talking about your first win. Well, I'm trying to get my multiple time wins this season, and with 9 to go, Everett slowly starting to reel himself back into the picture.
Just ever so slightly chipping into it here. Only back 6/10 from GT, 3/10 back from the 88 of Trevor Massetti. Pretty much even distance between the three of these cars here. And to your point, I think GT, he's going to make that car wide enough that he can just stick his arm out and grab a hot dog from the concession stand in the end.
And look, that's the first time Massetti followed him that time, trying to get that draft. And didn't do as much of a follow, but he did follow him down there at least. And I think that helped him a little bit. We'll see here off the exit of 1 if he can do it again, because this is the corner I feel like he's strongest in.
And look at that now. Again, closest he's been, up to 2/10 even. Now slightly less than that with the draft. And then GT, he's being really aggressive trying to snake his way out, but it's going to scrub speed off of his straight line speed, making that many adjustments to the car, shifting the weight around. So it's helping Travis to an extent. A really good turn 2 for Travis here.
Yeah, I tell you what, Trevor, all the way there after only a car and a half length back here as they entered 3. I think he needs to keep following Irizarry. You've seen Irizarry make, like you said, that snake move and almost slid the car. I mean, that is going to scrub speed, like you said there, Brandon. And you just got to make him keep wanting to move around, it seems like. He seems like he's really trying to break that draft, and that's what it's all coming down to, with 7 to go here, breaking all that draft.
And correction, yes, Trevor Massetti, not Travis. They're watching all 3 of them here, and seeing how the gap for Travis Everett slowly starting to increase here to the 2 leaders as they're fighting. But Trevor's doing a really good job, and again, like you said, turn 1, just his strong suit. But he's not gotten any closer than about 2/10 flat. Now, again, 2/10, but you see the drive off that GT's able to get from turn 2. And if he can figure out something, if Trevor can figure out a little something to get him a little bit better of a run out of turn 3 and catch that draft, snake right along with GT, he's going to be there. And if he can get to the inside of GT by turn 1, that is absolutely where he's going to make that pass. He's just so much better than GT right there.
We will have to see with 6 to go. GT holding that gap at 0.3 of a second. And he's doing a great job. But here they come up on the 27 of Marc-Andre Thibodeau. That gave him a little bit of draft down that front straightaway. Definitely helped as that 27 got out the way in the corner. And Everett actually got in a little trouble there exiting side by side with the lap car. He might lose a little time. But here comes Massetti trying to follow that 14 as best as possible, but just has not been able to break through that 2/10 barrier. I mean, he's got to 2/10, and then it's just never got to the back bumper.
He had a really good turn 2 right there. Now within that 2/10, see if he tries anything different. GT really sent it off into the corner, washed up a little bit, but that dirty air hurting the turn so much off the nose of the 88 there. Gap now extends back to 0.3.
Yeah, that you can physically see it. It's when he gets that close in 2 and in 3, it's just very hard to follow. 1 gives you a shot because just the banking there, and you can run a little bit of a different line here than your competitor. I mean, look, you see Massetti up the racetrack, getting that clean air on the nose of the car, while Irizarry trying to pinch it down and not giving the draft with 5 to go here. It's getting pretty competitive right now.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I'm sure Zach will echo this sentiment. As a driver, the position that Trevor Massetti is in is the most frustrating that you'll probably ever find yourself in, where you know you've got the pace, but the air is just not letting you get the runs you need. It's not letting the car turn, and there's just not really all that much that you can do about it if GT's doing exactly what it's doing, keeping that dirty air on your nose.
I think you're exactly right there. It's almost like being in limbo. You kind of get there, you're like, man, my car is driving so good, I'm catching this guy. You get to there, and then it's like, my car does not drive good no more. And you kind of hit that wall, and the only way to break through it is just keep persevering and finding that clean air. But it's tough to do when the track doesn't give it to you. And right now, I think you're starting to see the tire wear start to kick in. When you follow someone that close, your tires really start to go away.
Yeah, I was just noticing that as well. Now up to a 0.6 of a second gap here from Trevor Massetti to our leader. Now that's allowing Travis Everett to close up on the back bumper of the 88. But I think at this point, Trevor's kind of said goodbye to the win. Now going to have to try to mirror what GT was doing to him to the 59 of Travis Everett and just keep the dirty air on the nose. And that's not going to allow Travis to make the pass there. But like you said, just following that close, trying to get that much speed out of it and having to put that much more wheel into it over a number of laps. It held on for a long time, but now the tire wear really into play, and that right front just not there anymore for the 88.
ET Irizarry with 3 to go. looking for that first points paying victory of the season and to take the lead of the points with authority. I mean, that has got to feel, coming here tied with your teammate. Unfortunately, the teammate getting caught up in an incident, he definitely doesn't want to see that happen just for, the overall team aspect of things. But at the end of the day, he's going to take the points lead by a good margin.
Well, I think, honestly, he's just glad that it wasn't his contact with his teammate that took him out of it first, Zach. I mean, that's a big moment for GT with his teammate there. Curtis Preston, again, a whale of a job saving that. But, obviously, you're never happy when your teammate gets taken out, even if, maybe you feel like that's your biggest competition. But right now, again, one of his other teammates back there in third and still doesn't seem to have much for him right now. Their strategy to save that extra set doesn't look like they're going to get to use it. But then again, they haven't really needed it.
And with 2 to go, he's exiting off a 1 with a nice gap here in the 14. All he wants to see is a white flag. Brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. That is all GT is thinking. Trevor Massey trying his best to charge back up here late in the going. Don't know if it's going to be enough time for that 88, but down into 3. GT Irizarry coming off of turn 3 here. He's going to be looking. He sees it in the air. White flag's waving. Barney's got it in there. He takes it. White flag one final time here. Brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. Here at the RSR Cup Series, GT Irizarry down into 1. Does he have enough to hold off the 88 Trevor Massetti?
Well, barring any mistakes out of GT, haven't seen any wiggles the last couple of laps here. Been a very solid last 10 laps for the 14. Just no mistakes, and I think this is a pretty handed victory for the 14.
It's been so long since this guy has got his win in a points-paying race here in the Cup Series at the RSR Cup Series. Man, it is going to be fantastic to see this man ecstatic one final time down through turn 3 here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. GT Irizarry will exit off of 3, and he will win here at Pocono.
And he's sliding it around.
He's done wrecked the thing. I mean, that is how happy this guy is. He's spun this thing across the line. He's doing an immediate burnout. Man, oh man, congrats to GT Irizarry on the win and being your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight here at the RSR Cup Series. Trevor Massetti just coming up short for his first victory in second, and third going to teammate of GT Travis Everett. What a battle. It looks like Craig Burns going to bring home 4th. Bob Fitzpatrick in that 5th position. You called that right there, Brandon. He's going to bring home a top 5 and get him some nice points.
His first top 5 of the season for Bob Fitzpatrick. So great call there, Bob, to get back up to the top 5. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely ecstatic about that.
Jeff Carson, our race winner from last week, rebounding here and getting a 10th place finish. Junior Miller, they're up to 7th. Kevin Zabaldil at the 6th. Casey Coons with the 8th. 9th with Nathan Campbell. Ryan Zell in 11th. Kevin Sabilla in 12th. I mean, all the guys right there near the tail end of the lead lap all needed really good nights, and Pocono definitely played out for him as they're going to see our race winner in our Sheffield Graphics race winner, I must point out, come down here in the Mustang Week 14 and burn it down as he celebrates his first victory of the season here in the RSR Cup Series. We'll be right back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, as we get these top 3 drivers up here, and we'll have a chat with the man right there.
GT with his Polish victory lap.
All right, we're back here, everybody, for our post-race interviews tonight at the RSR Cup Series. But man, what a battle we had at the 99 laps we had here. I got 99 problems, and Pocono ain't one. His GT's still out here sliding around. I can hear it in the background in my headphones here. But we'll go ahead and bring up his teammate Travis Everett with his third place finish here tonight, and see what he has to say. Hey, Travis, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Hey, man, well, I tell you what, buddy, great finish again tonight for yourself in that 59. I know you sat on that pole, had a big moment up front there to start the race, but able to rebound and come home with third. There at the end, very, very close racing between the top three there, but just seemed like everybody, just very, very hard to pass once you guys are all so close on speed. Kind of just let us know how the race played out and how it was out there racing with these guys.
Yeah, there I was sitting on the pole talking about there's 99 chances to make a mistake, making laps around this place, and I go and make the first one, stack everybody up there, and definitely not the way we want it started. But coming down to the end there, I think I had a lap or two older tires than GT and Trevor, and I think that made a little bit of difference. I'm not quite sure. They're both extremely talented and well capable of running up front and winning these races, like you've seen. I don't know what else we could have done different there, though.
Yeah, it definitely. I think your best bet was to do what you did there to close that gap to be able to get within range of those two drafting to not let them pull away because that draft seemed pretty powerful tonight, also, man. But tell you what, it was a great battle back for you. Turn 3 is kind of based off the next track we go to next week at the Milwaukee Mile. That's a tough racetrack, and these Cup cars, I can't wait to see that. How tough is it going to be out there?
I'm not sure for everybody else, but I know for me it'll be tough. Truck Series last season, Sheffield, he kind of taught me a lot there. I just kind of settled in, run behind him there, and learned the line. Hadn't really run much there, but learned a lot from him, and hoping it can carry over and apply to this Cup Series here.
Well, Matt, I tell you what, I hope it can definitely carry over for you there. But it should be very fun to watch next week. But you put on a heck of a show again up here, man. Definitely a big moment there for you at the beginning, but great save from yourself. Before we let you go, Travis, anybody want to send a shout to?
Yeah, just y'all at Freaky Fast, Robert, Brandon. You enjoy having y'all on and broadcast these things for us. I think we put on a pretty good show for everybody that watches, and Ryan, everybody, Evolution, Sheffield Graphics, all my teammates over there at SJR. We put in a lot of practice during the week, and not just for this series, but Truck Series also. And I think it shows. And congratulations, GT there. I know he's gonna miss one or two coming up here soon, and we're gonna miss him for sure. Hope everything goes good for him, and just thank y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Hey, well, we appreciate you guys out on the track. You guys, like you said, Travis, definitely put on a show for us out there and make it a blast up here in the booth, man. But congrats on third, and we'll catch you next week at the Milwaukee Mile.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you then, brother.
All right. See you too, brother. All right. That was Travis Everett, your third place finisher tonight from Slide Job Racing. Now we'll move on to Trevor Massetti, a top 3-point driver entering tonight here for Clutch Motorsports. And man, just coming up a little bit short here for that first victory, but this thing is so close to being on the way. Let's see what Trevor Massetti has to say. Hey, Trevor, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you, Zach.
Hey, Trevor, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, you got me.
Oh, I got you now, buddy. Loud and clear. But man, great run for yourself tonight. We heard from you after stage 2, winning that. And, man, you're able to drive back up into position after running out of fuel there on pit road and having to take that EOL. What a drive from you, man. I tell you what, you came up a little bit short for that victory, but what a drive. Just explain to us how you were able to drive back to that field.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It was that was the most fun I've had in a while. It was just kind of a lot of sending it into the corner and hoping it sticks, and it usually ended up sticking. I think I got pretty close to that wall out of the tunnel turn a couple times, but it all worked out.
Hey, it definitely did for you there, and it really seemed like right before those pit stops happened, you were able to get right there on GT and close in as we hit the pit stops, and then you exited right there with them. I mean, for those final 21 laps, that was so intense for us to watch, but it also had to be so tough to follow because it seemed like you could get them out of one, but then turn 2 and 3, it just seemed so hard to follow that lead car.
Yeah, I mean, he's a heck of a driver, and I got so much respect for both him and Travis. I mean, they are. It's amazing to race with them, and I don't know how he was doing it, but he was working magic in there, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I got a little bit of a run out of turn 1, like you said, but and I think out of turn 3, but turn 2, he was able to just keep it way more planted than I was.
Yeah, definitely showed everybody. But I tell you what, you definitely had to make him look in that mirror and drive the wheels off that thing to pull it off. And like you said, he might have pulled off some magic there to be able to hold you off because y'all were both gunning for that first victory. And I tell you what, that victory for you is right around the corner, Trevor. And we can't wait to see it up here in the booth, man. Hopefully coming very soon for yourself. But before we let you go and get prepared for next week at the Milwaukee Mile, Trevor, anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go, buddy?
Yeah, I gotta say hi to mom and dad, Grammy and Nono, Nana and Grandpa, and Aunt Karen. And I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys put on a heck of a show. All the admins that make this thing work, and all the slide jobs guys are a lot of fun to race with.
Well, awesome run here tonight, Trevor. We'll catch you next week at the Milwaukee Mile, man, and hopefully we'll talk to you maybe one place better.
Sounds good.
You have a great night, buddy.
You-
All right, guys, that was Trevor Massetti in the 88, able to bring home that victory. Looking at the 14, I just said bring home the victory. That's why I said that. But Trevor Massetti bring home second. Sorry about that. Like I said, victory right around the corner for that young man. Just a fantastic driver. And like you said, he's got so much respect for this guy because this guy is, I mean, he is just so consistent, and it's great to see him up here in the victory lane because he's our Sheffield Graphics race winner. Let's hear from GT Irizarry himself. Hey, GT and Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Man, I tell you what, before we go into the race, I gotta say that it's definitely got to be a weight off your shoulders to get that victory before heading off into the playoffs.
Guys, you really don't have an idea of how much that meant right there. I mean, hell, I was telling him yesterday in practice. I mean, I've got to get a W because I'm going to be out for hopefully just 1 week. You guys don't know I'm actually going in for surgery this week. That was unexpected, so I was like, man, I've got to get a W in here. Even though, I mean, we're sitting nice in the points, but is what was getting nervous is there were so many different winners that were winning, just like the real cup. So it's like, oh man, I don't want to be locked out and, because I'm going to miss a race or two. So, oh man, that was huge, dude. And Pocono is a fun track, man. I've always liked Pocono. But man, hell yeah.
That's right, man. I knew you were going to be excited about that. We were excited up in the booth because, like I said, just consistent each week. I mean, you got the Bristol All-Star win in your back pocket, but, now with this Pocono win, you got 2 races in the playoffs that you've already got a victory at this season. I mean, that's got to bode pretty well for your feelings now.
There were some other fast cars out there. I mean, just unfortunately, they ended up getting caught up in some incidents and took themselves out. So that was good, but the pit strategy worked out for us. I mean, us as a team, we decided, hey, we're gonna not take tires on that first run. And I mean, and I was like, kind of joking. I was like, well, we ain't got to worry about going a lap down here. We might fall way back, but I think we held on pretty decent. I mean, considering we still ended up getting stage points, so that worked out great. And then, it kind of just fell in my lap. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. And then Travis got caught speeding when everybody was running out of gas. I was running out of gas behind him, but he had to get more of a jump just so he can make it down. So he got caught speeding, put him in the back. And I'm like, well, that's one more contender that's, I ain't got to deal with right away. But, I ain't going to lie. I mean, Trevor had me sweating, bro. I mean, I was watching him, and I was so easy getting on pit road because I didn't want to, spin it. I forgot to adjust my brake bias before I went in there. So I was like, I'm going to turn this damn thing on pit road and hit the wall. And these guys are going to lap up in the booth like, "Ugh." And then when I came off pit road, I'm like, dude, they're right there. I'm like, great. So whatever, it worked out, man. I just kept, I kept getting out of his draft. And then whenever, he would follow me some and I kind of juke a little bit and kind of try to fake him out some. And it worked out, man. I mean, damn. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like you said there. I mean, that last 21 laps. I mean, I don't even think you drove out much out the windshield there trying to break that draft. I mean, you did a great job, and it seemed like he had the run out of one a few times. But when you break that draft, and he a few times he just didn't elect to follow you down there, and it just really kind of evened out anything. And then down in the two, it just seemed like he could never follow you there. I mean, was that kind of the goal? Is just make sure he's not close out of one, and then set you up into two? Because I mean, you really had him really covered with the way you were placing your car.
Actually, I had Curtis actually gave me a little coach, and he said, "Look, man, don't look in the mirror. Just run your line." And then Travis was actually coaching too. He was like, "Don't worry about the interval. Just run your line." And Travis is one of them ones, dude. Toward the end of the run, I mean, he's there. And then he saved his. I don't know how the hell he does it. He saves his tires, and then he blows by. Well, yesterday or last night when we ran practice run, it was us three, me, Travis, and Trevor on the practice race, and lo and behold, on the last lap, we were battling out, and I actually just took them both out on purpose just to win that one. So I was like, I hope they remember what I did last night because I'm damn sure going to do it again if I have to. But no, he kept getting me in one, and then I would try to break the draft, and then we can kind of hold even in the tunnel turn. I mean, he would get it every now and then I would get it back, but I kept pulling him on three. I would either hold him on coming off of three, or I would actually pull him by about a tenth. And so I was like, well, man, dude, if you can continue pulling him on three, I mean, that's the money turn, really. You know what I mean? Because the start finish line is right up there. I was like, you just got to stay in front of him. But I know Trevor was hungry too, so I was like, man, I don't know if he's going to get here and we're going to end up wrecking. But you know what? If we end up wrecking, it's going to be good for the booth. They're going to love it. Whatever.
Hey man, it was definitely good up in the booth. Either way, I mean, it was a battle nonetheless. And as a racing driver myself, I know how it felt out there. And you drove the wheels off it to keep out ahead, man. So, congrats on the victory. Cherish that one, man. And also, we're gonna miss you, buddy. And best of luck with the surgery, and a speedy recovery to you there, man. And before we let you go and celebrate this thing, and anybody want to send a shout to, buddy?
I got to thank Mustang Week for coming on board. I mean, that finally got him a W, man. I mean, we got the Bristol All-Star. That was cool, but finally got a points-paying race and got the W, which is awesome, man. So, hats off for them coming on board, and actually the people that are following along and actually interacting with us on Facebook about it. I think some people really think it's pretty cool, and I really do appreciate that. And got to throw the dates, September 6th to September 12th, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's the biggest Mustang rally that you can imagine all week. Obviously, thank you boys up in the booth for what you do. You guys do a phenomenal job, and I love watching the broadcast the next day at work. I'll be watching from home tomorrow because Thursday is the big day. But thank Ryan too for everything that he does. I mean, he's got a hell of a show going on here, man. And he gave everybody a pep talk at the beginning of the race and pretty much just laid it on the line of how it is. And I mean, which is awesome. And, Sheffield as well. Sheffield does a lot also, and Sheffield Graphics and ButtKicker. My ButtKicker system is still kicking butt. It was cool. Hey, let me ask you, what do you think about me actually spinning the car after I took the checkered? I didn't even make it around to, do the pace lap. I was like, hell, I'm wrecking it right now.
Hey, we were ecstatic. I said he's gonna go ahead and start doing his celebration right now. It was
I wrecked it, and then I thought, and I was like, well, dude, what if the race wasn't completely over? What if you get penalized or whatever because other people didn't pass start finish? I was like, oh, whatever, man.
Yeah, don't Mark Martin it. Unfortunately, that didn't play, or fortunately, it didn't play out for you there, man. But gosh, tell you what, good to see you be able to pull that victory off GT, man. Good for your sponsor, and man, like I said before, we wish you the best of luck with your surgery, man, and the best recovery there for you. And we'll be here waiting for you when you get back, buddy.
Yeah, the only good thing about the surgery is I ain't got to race whatever the short track is coming up. I'm like, well,
Milwaukee Mile.
that works out good for me. I'm okay with that.
Hey,
Provisional.
hey, it works out the right week for you then, buddy. But like I said, best of luck there, man. Congrats on the victory, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks, buddy.
One more last
Yep.
thanks, Curtis and Travis, for kind of keeping me cool there. I mean, seriously, I mean, Curtis was out of it. I almost wrecked him, and I know that's
Yeah.
rare. That's rare that I wreck my teammates, but I almost wrecked him. But that they kind of kept me calm there, and I really do appreciate it. So certainly got to thank Slide Jobs Racing. I mean, we practice a lot, we learn off of each other, and I haven't said this in a while, but everybody else on the track, man, they were so. I mean, people were so cool; they were getting out of the way. I mean, it was just like, man, I mean, that they weren't racing the leader, they weren't racing second, they weren't racing third. So I really do appreciate the rest of the guys on the track, man. That was cool of them. I really, I remember that.
It definitely was, GT man. Well, buddy, we love the win up here in the booth for you, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks, man. Best of luck.
Cool, brother. Y'all have a good one.
You have a good one too, man. All right, there you heard it from your race winner, GT Irizarry. Remember, he's your Sheffield Graphics race winner, man. I am excited for that guy because he wants it. That's the type of things that is really cool to see. Is when a driver really wants it, they go and get it, and he went and got it done tonight. But now let's go ahead and pull up our race results as the I got 99 problems in Pocono 8-1 has been. I'll tell you what, I think a few drivers had some problems, but GT definitely don't have one right now as he's able to bring home that victory. Second's going to go to Trevor Massetti, just coming up a little bit short for that first victory. Third's going to be Travis Everett. Fourth, Craig Burns. Fifth's going to go to Bob Fitzpatrick, first top 5 of the season for him. Sixth's going to be Kevin Zabladil. Junior Miller's going to bring home a 7th. 8th's going to go to Casey Kuntz. 9th is Nathan Campbell. Last week's winner, Jeff Carson. 10th, Ryan Ezel will bring home 11th in the 5 machine. 12th's going to go to Kevin Sabilla. 13th is going to go to James Quattrone. 14th is going to go to Harold Watkins. 15th is going to go to Dustin Stalling. 16th, Kevin Dowd. 17th is going to go to Stephen Baldwin. 18th is going to go to Chad Biesinger. 19th is going to be Curtis Preston. And rounding out your top 20 will be Andrew Little in the 68. 21st is going to be Anthony Yunez. 22nd, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 23rd is going to be Michael Martino. 21st, Tony Ludi. 25th, Kevin Ruff. 26th, Matthew Rush. 27th, Hunter Hayward. 28th, Ryan Bean. 29th, Adam Buzzio. 30th is going to be Rusty Modesty. 31st, Nolan Potter. 32nd, rounding out your field, will be David Hall. As man, what a night up here in the booth at Pocono. Very, very strong race for a lot of drivers out there that definitely needed it. And a first-time victor for this season. Always a beautiful thing to see, and that's what I like to see. Brandon, what's your final thoughts here tonight from the Pocono Raceway?
Well, the RSR Cup Series guys did not fail to deliver on a spectacular race here at Pocono. A lot of really close racing all the way back through the field, guys side by side, just rubbing fenders, trying to get absolutely everything they can. And can't say how exciting it is to see GT finally break through and get his points paying win to lock himself into the playoffs. Just around the corner, coming at the exact right time for him. And unfortunate for Trevor Massetti, just coming up a little bit short, but he has been there the last handful of weeks, just knocking on the door, waiting for somebody to say come in. So it's just a matter of time for the 88 before we're talking to him up here in Victory Lane.
I would not doubt that, my friend, one bit at all. Trevor Massetti looking very strong in top 3 in points. He's definitely going to be one to watch for as the regular season plays out here, as we don't have many races left here in the regular season. Remember, next week we'll be hitting Milwaukee Mile. That's going to be a very fun one. I cannot wait to see that. But I just want to thank you all for tuning in here tonight. It's been a pleasure up here in the booth. It's been Zach Hall and Brandon Colley, but we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr. to close out tonight's broadcast here for the RSR Cup Series.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen out there, like they said, for tuning in here tonight with our doubleheader with the ARCA cars and the Cup cars here with Evolution Racing League. Congratulations to GT finally getting that win, locking himself into the playoffs, and we'll see who's going to be the next one to get another race win or lock themselves in with the first-time win here with Evolution Racing League as they take on Milwaukee Mile next week, and that's going to be a fun track to watch, especially in the Cup cars. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and you like this video, and you also got to share over there on YouTube, and you can share it to your favorite platform of your GT. Sorry, I just seen GT's car just go flying by the screen. Anyways, he's still out here celebrating his victory, but you can share this stream to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. And like Zach said, and Brandon, what a great race. Congratulations again, everybody. Our next time we will be telecast is going to be tomorrow night at 8:30 with Underdog Racing League. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern, as we got Sam and Zach going to be calling all the action here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But until then, we want to wish everybody a great week. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.